LoveLore Library. Chapter 11-18. Well, you go and call Lele. Come to my study. Let's discuss it together. Huang Xiaofei instructed Huang Rongtian. Huang Rongtian shook his head and left the room. In the beginning, he agreed to invest in Country X because of the rich profit reward. However, after the last incident, Huang Rongtian also hesitated. Especially after learning that Huang Lele still had 40 billion patakas in his hand, he planned to give up the investment in Country X. With these 40 billion patakas, he could develop some local businesses very well. There was no need to continue to take risks in Country X. Although the return was not as rich as the gold mine in Country X, the risk was almost zero. Therefore, after figuring out the key to the matter, Huang Rongtian also changed his previous thoughts. He did not support his father to continue to develop the gold mine business in Country X. But now it seemed that his father was a stubborn old man, and he took the problem of face very seriously. Young people and the older generation had different ideas. The older generation paid attention to pomp and face, but Huang Rongtian came back from studying in the United States. He did not care much about face and other things. In order to be afraid that he could not persuade his father alone, Huang Rongtian called his younger brother, Huang Rongjin, and asked him to rush home quickly. There were important things to discuss. "Brother, what's wrong?" "I am holding a collection auction with my friends. I plan to sell some of my collection to relieve the economic pressure at home," said Huang Rongjin. After listening to his brother's words, Huang Rongtian was a little moved. After all, his brother had always been not very interested in the family business. He was just addicted to collecting, but he did not expect that when the family was in trouble, he would stand up and sell his beloved collection. "Rongjin, don't sell your collection. Even if you sell it, you can't sell it for much money. You should hurry home to discuss the important matters." Huang Rongtian said, "My father is going to let Lele take out the money and continue to invest it in the gold mine of Country X in Africa. I think it is better to do business in the local area with this money, but my father doesn't listen to me. That's why I called you. You should come back and persuade him." "Ah! How can Lele's money continue to invest in gold mines? Isn't this a joke?" Huang Rongjin was also a little angry. "You wait. I will go back now." "Yes, you should come back as soon as possible. Otherwise, if you take too long, I'm afraid father will get impatient and personally call Lele," Huang Rongtian instructed. "All right, I understand. I'll head back now." As soon as Huang Rongjin hung up the phone, he told his companions that he had something to do at home. Then, he hurriedly drove in the direction of his home. Fortunately, he had been in Singapore recently and did not travel far. Huang Rongtian said, "At first, I thought that marrying you into a rich family would be good for you, and your happiness would be guaranteed. But after thinking about it, you already have someone you like, so I can't break you up. Especially when I heard that your boyfriend is so powerful and has some achievements in gambling. If the family business is transferred to the gambling industry, it is not a bad choice." Hearing that her big brother approved of Yang Ming, Huang Lele's heart was very happy. She was not so angry about her big brother's indifference to her before. In fact, Huang Lele did not have so much hatred for Huang Rongtian. She was just a little annoyed. Now that her big brother had figured it out and also apologized, Huang Lele was no longer angry. As the two were talking, Huang Rongjin pushed the door and came in. "Big brother, Lele, what the hell is going on?" "Second brother." Huang Lele and her second brother, Huang Rongjin, were still relatively close. When she saw her second brother come back, she was delighted. Huang Rongtian looked at the brother and sister with some jealousy. He thought, when I was young, Lele and I were also so close, right? After growing up, it seems that I really ignored her feelings. Thinking of this, Huang Rongtian decided that he really had to consider his little sister's feelings in the future and not let her do something she didn't like. Huang Rongji nodded and quickly sat next to Huang Rongtian. Then, he looked at the two with questioning eyes. This is the case. Father intends to use the money in Leilei's hands to invest in Country X's gold mine. Huang Rongtian explained. Then, didn't you persuade father? Huang Rongjin frowned and said, if he loses again, wouldn't everything be over? That's true. Huang Rongtian sighed and said, I tried to persuade him, but father didn't listen. He asked me to call Leilei to go to the study. He wants to talk to Leilei personally. Now that the time is almost up, and you are back, let's hurry up. Otherwise, if father is anxious, he will come to us personally. Then, let's go upstairs. Huang Rongji nodded and said, Leilei, no matter what father says, you don't let go. Don't take out the money, okay? Huang Leilei responded. Even without Huang Rongjin's reminder, she would not easily take out the money. The three went upstairs together and came to the door of their father's study. After knocking on the door, they heard their father's voice. Come in. When Huang Xiaofei saw Huang Rongtian, Huang Rongjin, and Huang Leilei, the three siblings, come in together, he was a bit baffled. Rongjin is back too. I just came back. I heard that there was a big deal to discuss, so I came in, said Huang Rongjin. Huang Xiaofei nodded and said, this time, there is indeed a big deal to discuss. It is related to the survival and glory of our Huang family. Dad, if it is about the investment in Country X in Africa, you don't have to say it. I don't agree. Huang Rongjin did not wait for his father to speak and took the lead to express his opposition. It is useless for you to object. It is not asking you to pay. You just listen here. Huang Xiaofei said faintly. Huang Rongjin listened to his father's words and had to smile bitterly. Indeed, he had no money, and his words were not effective. He had always been an image of a prodigal young master. He only cared about spending money and not making money, so these big moves in the family were rarely asked for his opinion. Leilei, what do you think? Huang Xiaofei looked at Huang Leilei. Didn't we talk about it? Everything will wait until Yang Ming comes here. Before that, I don't want to say anything. Huang Leilei shook her head and said. But, the situation is very critical now. The Li family called and said that if the rent is not in place, General Kars will take back the gold mine. Huang Xiaofei said, if this opportunity is missed, there will be no more in the future. Dad, is that gold mine really so important? Our Huang family has a lot of industries. There is no need to keep an eye on the gold mine, right? Huang Leilei said with some puzzlement, Dad, let's give up. We have invested so much money. It is really a pity to give up now. Huang Xiaofei said, moreover, I, Huang Xiaofei, am also a reputable person in the upper class. If people know that I ran back after failing to invest in Country X, what will others think of me? Are other people's views so important? Huang Leilei frowned. Dad, we are businessmen, not politicians. We don't need to care about other people's views. If we make money, we will succeed. Who will care if you have failed? Oh, you don't need to teach me this. I know better than you. But I can't afford to lose this face. Huang Xiaofei waved his hand and said, well, Leilei, as for your marriage to Li Tianjia, I will fight for it again, but the money in your hands must be invested in Country X in Africa. Well, since this is the case, then I have to ask Yang Ming. After all, the money is earned by him. If he agrees, I have no opinion. Huang Leilei had no choice but to push the decision to Yang Ming. Good. You go and ask Yang Ming. I will negotiate with the Li family again. Huang Xiaofei suddenly decided. Huang Rongtian and Huang Rongjin could only smile bitterly. Huang Lele ignored those. In her opinion, as long as Yang Ming came over, all the problems would be solved. Huang Lele didn't know why she had such confidence. After Huang Rongtian, Huang Rongjin, and Huang Lele went out, Huang Xiaofei dialed Li Ziqing's phone. "Hello, Mr. Huang, how is it? Have you considered it?" said Li Ziqing. In terms of funds, there should be no problem, but Lele firmly refuses to marry Li Tianjia. "I can't help it. Now, young people are emphasizing free love and not arranged marriages," Huang Xiaofei said with some difficulty. Li Ziqing frowned. "Since there is no marriage, then why should our Li family participate? Didn't half of the management rights have been given to you?" Huang Xiaofei also felt that the Li family was a bit too much. They had already given half of the management rights, but they still wanted a marriage. Management rights are management rights. Without a marriage, how can we ensure that our cooperation will proceed smoothly? Li Ziqing sneered and said, "Africa is so chaotic. To put it bluntly, when I am here, it is fine. But when I am not here, after Tianjia takes power, he will directly kick your Huang family out. What will you do then?" In these words, there was a great threat. Huang Xiaofei naturally heard it. He was angry, but he couldn't find anything to be angry about. Wasn't Li Ziqing reminding him kindly? He was hinting that if there was no marriage, the cooperation could not last long. Maybe the Li family would not only take the money but also the gold mine. Instead, they would kick the Huang family out. They would operate independently. What would you do then? Huang Xiaofei was shocked and angry, but he had no way. After taking a deep breath, he said, "Well, I will persuade Lele again." "And you persuade her again. Do it as soon as possible. It is very urgent here," Li Ziqing said indifferently. In fact, his heart was also very anxious. He didn't want to miss such a good opportunity to make money. After all, he could get half a gold mine without investing a penny. All he needed to do was to invest in interpersonal relationships. Where could he find such a good thing? Huang Lele marrying Li Tianjia was completely an additional condition. Even if the Huang family insisted on not adding this condition, Li Ziqing would eventually agree. However, there was still a possibility now, so he had to give Huang Xiaofei some pressure. If it really didn't work, he would make another plan. Huang Xiaofei knew Huang Lele's temper. He had been lobbying for so many days, and there was still no result. If he continued to lobby, there would definitely be no result. Now, the Li family's attitude was so tough, which made Huang Xiaofei very embarrassed. He didn't know what to do. "Father, how is it?" Li Tianjia came to his father Li Ziqing's office and asked anxiously. The Huang family replied that there is no problem with the funds, but Lele doesn't agree to marry you. "What do you think?" asked Li Ziqing. This. Li Tianjia's heart was a little unhappy. "How am I bad? Huang Lele actually doesn't like me." However, for the sake of the family's interests, Huang Lele's matter was not a big deal. If it really doesn't work, then forget it. And I think so too. After all, the gold mine in Africa is a rare opportunity. It can't be missed, and it won't come again. Li Ziqing nodded. "We can get half a gold mine for free." "That is indeed the case. Dad, Lele's matter, if it really doesn't work, then forget it. I will fight for it myself." Li Tianjia nodded. "It's great that you can think like this. I was afraid that you would have some opinions." Li Ziqing said, "You call Tianyu now and let him talk to General Kars. Our funds will be in place as soon as possible." Okay. I will make this call now, so as not to wait for a long time. General Kars will change again. Li Tianjia said, and quickly left his father's office to call Li Tianyu. Li Tianyu hid far away on the road of the gold mine, waiting for General Kars to arrive and expel Yang Ming. However, his elder brother did not reply, and Li Tianyu's heart was also in a mess. The funds were not in place. Even if Yang Ming was expelled, the gold mine could not be given to him, so he still had to wait for his elder brother's call. A ringtone sounded, and Li Tianyu was delighted. He quickly picked up the phone. Hello, Tianyu, I am your elder brother. Father has contacted the Huang family. The funds are not a problem. Li Tianjia said hurriedly. Oh. The Huang family agreed to our conditions. Li Tianyu was also delighted. After the gold mine was won, the matters here would be handed over to him so that he could stand firmly in the family business. There are some changes in Leilei's matter. The Huang family did not agree, but they agreed to the funds, said Li Tianjia. Li Tianyu didn't care if Huang Leilei would marry his elder brother. This matter had nothing to do with him. As long as the funds were in place, he could be the person in charge of the gold mine. Oh, it is good that the funds are in place. Brother, I say, free love is still better. If you like Huang Leilei, go after her. Li Tianyu said with some excitement. Ha, you think so, too? I plan to do the same. Li Tianjia didn't know that Li Tianyu was being perfunctory, so he replied to him happily. Yes, that's what I think. Li Tianyu said casually, Elder brother, I will contact General Kars and tell him about this. Okay, then I won't bother you. After you contact him, call me and tell me the result. Li Tianjia said quickly and hung up the phone. Chapter 11:19. Brother Yang, our people have explored the entire gold mine. There is no one else in it. Li Chang let all his men explore the entire mine and reported to Yang Ming. Well, you did a good job. Yang Ming also guessed that with Li Tianyu's character, he would not leave people in the mine, but to be on the safe side, he still sent people to investigate. It was better to be safe than sorry. In case Li Tianyu had any bad intentions and left any hidden dangers in the mine. The mine has been fully taken over. What are we going to do now? Li Chang followed Yang Ming into the office of the mine, sat on the sofa opposite Yang Ming, and asked. Li Chang, do you know why I asked you to come here? Yang Ming put away his joking expression and said to Li Chang seriously. Brother Yang, you want us to build a powerful armed force here and become the world's first assassin mercenary organization, said Li Chang firmly. Well, that's the case, but not all of it. As Yang Ming spoke until here, he paused and continued, you say it again. It doesn't matter. Tell me your true thoughts. Also, you want us to operate and protect these mines here. Li Chang looked around and asked tentatively. This is one of the reasons, but it is not the main purpose. Yang Ming nodded and said, it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about anything. If you have any ideas, just say it. Then. Brother Yang, I will say it. Li Chang hesitated as if he had made a great decision. You say it. Yang Ming smiled. Anyway, just treat it as a private topic between us brothers. Just say whatever you want to say. Li Chang nodded and hesitated for a moment before he said, Brother Yang, in the past few days in Country X, we have also experienced and seen a lot of things. I also understand the system and politics of this country. It is not difficult to obtain the highest political power in this war-torn country. Brother Yang, do you want us to? Hearing Li Chang's words, Yang Ming couldn't help but laugh. This Li Chang wasn't as rough and honest as he looked. He still had a clever side to him. That's right. I called you here because I want you to integrate and annex all the armed forces here, but not to control the political power here. Yang Ming nodded. Control all the armed forces, but not the political power. Li Chang was stunned and asked. Yes, it is to control the armed forces, not to control the regime. Yang Ming nodded. I intend to continue to support General Kars. Brother Yang, do you mean that we control the military power of country X, and let General Kars be in charge of the political power of country X, but in fact, he is a puppet leader? You can understand it this way. You are not stupid, kid. Yang Ming smiled and said, internal affairs are too tiring. We don't have so much energy. But if we want to gain a foothold in this land and develop a stable career, we must have absolute power. It turns out to be like this. Li Chang nodded. This is a very good idea. In this way, we can establish absolute authority in this land. How long will it take to do it? Asked Yang Ming. 1 year, at most 1 year. Li Chang said with confidence. Well, I will give you 1 year. Don't let me down. Yang Ming patted Li Chang's shoulder and said. Do not worry, Brother Yang. I will definitely hand over a powerful force to you. Li Chang nodded and said. The two were talking, and suddenly there was a knock on the door outside the room. Li Chang frowned and thought, I am discussing important things with Brother Yang. These underlings really come to disturb me at this time. But he still asked, who is it? What's the matter? Report. Captain Li, there is a group of armed forces outside who claim to represent General Kars. They want to take back this gold mine. Said Li Chang's underling. General Kars, take back the gold mine. Yang Ming frowned after listening. Let's go. Let's go out and see. Li Chang also nodded and followed Yang Ming out. Li Tianyu was so angry that he wanted to curse. Just now, when he saw a group of soldiers coming in the direction of the gold mine, Li Tianyu quickly stepped forward and asked the leading soldier, Big brothers, are you sent by General Kars to help me take back the gold mine? Who are you? Asked the leading soldier coldly. I am Li Tianyu, from Singapore's Li family. I am a loyal partner of General Kars. Said Li Tianyu quickly. I haven't heard of it. The leading soldier shook his head. Don't hinder us. We still have to perform official duties. Didn't General Kars tell you? Let you help me take back the gold mine? Li Tianyu asked with some doubts. It's true that we are going to take back the gold mine, but to help you. General Kars did not say this. The leading soldier said impatiently, do you still have something to do? If not, get out of the way. Wait a minute. Maybe General Kars forgot. He didn't tell you, but this gold mine is indeed ours. After it was invaded, I found General Kars. I will call him and talk to him, said Li Tianyu quickly. Then hurry up. The leading soldier waved his hand and said. Although he didn't know if what this person said was true, this person kept mentioning General Kars. It seemed that he was very familiar with General Kars, so the soldier didn't dare to offend this person. Otherwise, how did this person know that he was going to take back the gold mine? Maybe it was really General Kars who had forgotten. General Kars was busy every day, so he really couldn't remember this. Li Tianyu quickly took out the phone and called General Kars. The person who answered the phone was still General Kars' secretary. Li Tianyu quickly said respectfully, Hello, please help me find General Kars. I am Li Tianyu of the Li family in Singapore. You wait a minute. The secretary had also confirmed that General Kars knew this person, so the secretary's attitude this time was better than the last time. I will connect you. After a while, the voice of General Kars came from the phone. Hello, who is this? Hello, General Kars. I am Li Tianyu of the Li family in Singapore, said Li Tianyu quickly. And what else do you want? General Kars snorted and asked. It's like this. I saw the people you sent, but this soldier said that they were here to take over the gold mine, not to help me take back the gold mine. You see, did you forget to tell them? Li Tianyu hurriedly asked. They are here to take back the gold mine. There is no mistake. General Kars said coldly, I have given enough face to your Li family, but you have been in this gold mine for so long, and you haven't given me a penny. Can I continue to rent this gold mine to you? I have now decided to take back the gold mine and use it for other purposes. General Kars, I have just contacted my family. The rent will be paid in 2 days. Li Tianyu was anxious and said quickly. As soon as I take back the gold mine, you have money. You can get the money. General Kars sneered. I think you wanted to deliberately delay and not give it to me before, right? No, it's really not. Our family has just raised the money. Li Tianyu's head had a cold sweat, and he quickly denied it. However, General Kars couldn't be blamed for thinking too much. Anyone would think so. Previously, your rent was delayed. Now that you want to take back the gold mine, you immediately have money. You even said that you just raised it. Who can believe this? Is there such a coincidental thing? General Kars obviously did not believe Li Tianyu's words. I think your Li family has no sincerity. Let's just forget about this. Don't, General Kars. You can't do this. Li Tianyu said anxiously. Do I still need to tell you what I am like? General Kars snorted coldly. The relationship with your Li family ends here. You should take care of yourself in the future. After that, General Kars hung up the phone. Li Tianyu looked sluggish and looked at the phone in his hand dejectedly. It's over. Everything is over. What's the matter with you? What did General Kars say? Are you okay? The leading soldier saw Li Tianyu in a daze and frowned. You guys go. Li Tianyu shook his head helplessly, waved his hand, and said decadently. Are you sick? When the soldier saw Li Tianyu's appearance, he knew that he called General Kars. General Kars did not support him, so the soldier's attitude toward Li Tianyu was not good. Looking at the back of the soldiers, Li Tianyu was somewhat angry and somewhat helpless. He even complained about his father. Why did he always want the Huang family to take the money? Even if the Li family paid for this gold mine, it was still a profiteering business. Li Tianyu took out the phone and called his elder brother in Singapore. Tianyu, how are things going on your side? Li Tianjia looked at the phone number and guessed that it must be Li Tianyu calling. It's over. Li Tianyu said in frustration. General Kars said that the gold mine must be taken back and used for other purposes. What? How could this be? Didn't you tell him that our funds have been raised? Li Tianjia was shocked and asked quickly. I said it, but General Kars said that we have occupied the gold mine for so long. He has given enough face to our Li family, but the funds are not in place. When he wants to take back the gold mine, our funds are in place. Isn't this obviously trying to drag on and not give him money? When he is angry, he said that he has severed ties with our Li family. He asked us to take care of ourselves. Ah! Li Tianjia suddenly said anxiously, did General Kars really say that? For such a big thing, can I lie to you? Said Li Tianyu. Is it because you are speaking too impulsively? It is not nice to hear, and you made General Kars unhappy. Li Tianjia asked unwillingly. Am I speaking too impulsively? Li Tianyu was a little displeased and complained, what does it have to do with me? Isn't it all because of you? The money is not in place, and it is delayed again and again. Isn't it normal for General Cars to have ideas? Originally, even if the Huang family did not contribute, we would have contracted the gold mine ourselves. It is already very profitable. It is you who are too greedy, which led to the current situation. Well, Tianyu, don't complain. This is father's decision. What is the use of you saying that? I have to report this matter to father immediately to see if there is any remedy, said Li Tianjia quickly. Father. If you didn't insist on marrying that Huang Lele and put forward such an additional condition, the Huang family would have already agreed and taken out the money, right? Li Tianyu said sourly. Li Tianjia suddenly blushed. What Li Tianyu said was not unreasonable. On the Huang family side, the biggest dispute was Huang Lele's matter. Moreover, now the Huang family had agreed to take the money, but they did not agree to Huang Lele's marriage. This point was also fully proven. Okay, you quickly let father find a way to remedy it. Li Tianyu did not force Li Tianjia too much. After all, with this weakness in his hand, he was not in a hurry to use it for a while. In the future, on the road to seize power in the company, this matter might become his own trump card. Therefore, the gold mine was not contracted. It was a bad thing for the family, but it was also an opportunity for him. Thinking of this, Li Tianyu's mood was a lot better, and he was not as troubled as before. After Li Tianjia learned that General Kars was going to take back the gold mine, he did not dare to stay any longer. He rushed to his father's chairman's office without stopping. This time, he did not even knock on the door and hurriedly rushed in. What are you doing? Li Ziqing was flirting with his young secretary, and one hand was still under the secretary's skirt. The secretary was also leaning on Li Ziqing's body and panting. She was shocked by Li Tianjia's intrusion. Li Tianjia caught his father having an affair with the female secretary. His face was also embarrassed, but now the matter was urgent, so he could not care so much. He said anxiously, "Father, there is something, what's the matter?" Li Ziqing pulled his hand out from under the female secretary's skirt and said with some embarrassment, "How many times have I told you? Can you not be so impatient? You are already an adult. You are already a general manager, yet you are still so reckless." Father, Africa sighed. Li Tianjia glanced at the female secretary, and the words stopped at the tip of his tongue. Li Ziqing waved to the female secretary and motioned her to go out. After she went out and closed the door, Li Ziqing said, "What are you doing? Can you knock on the door first next time? Father, mother has been dead for so many years. I don't object to you looking for another one. You find a match. My brother and I don't object, but you are always messing around in the company. If others know about it, it is not good," said Li Tianjia. "You still want to teach me a lesson? Is there anything wrong with you? You came to me to say this." Li Ziqing glared at Li Tianjia and said angrily, "Right, I almost forgot about the business." Li Tianjia touched the back of his head and said quickly, "Father, something happened in Africa, didn't I just say it again? I already know everything. What else happened?" Li Ziqing looked at his son's anxious look and said with some resentment, "You are so old, but you are not calm at all." "No, father, it's different this time." Li Tianjia said quickly, "Tianyu just called. General Kars said that he wants to take back the gold mine and will not rent the gold mine to us." "Not rent? What happened? Didn't we already collect the rent? Why didn't he rent it?" Li Ziqing asked curiously, "Is there some misunderstanding?" "Misunderstanding?" Li Tianjia smiled bitterly. "What misunderstanding? General Kars rented the gold mine to us and only collected half of the rent. He has already given us a lot of face, but our rent is not in place. When he wants to take back the gold mine, our funds are immediately in place. What will he think? He thinks that we have been in arrears with the rent and don't want to pay. Tianyu told you this. Li Ziqing suddenly frowned. It's not Tianyu who said it. General Kars said to Tianyu, and General Kars said that his relationship with our family ends here. He wants us to take care of ourselves, said Li Tianjia. What? Li Ziqing was immediately shocked after listening to Li Tianjia's words. You said that General Kars said that he wants to sever ties with our family. Tianyu said that General Kars did say so. Li Tianjia said with some helplessness, Father, I think you should call General Kars personally. Communicate with him and see if you can save it. I will contact General Kars. Li Ziqing nodded and did not bother to pursue the matter of Li Tianjia disturbing his flirting before. Li Ziqing quickly connected the phone to General Kars' office, and the secretary transferred it to General Kars' desk. General Kars' secretary was still very puzzled. Why did I receive several calls in a row today? They were all from the Li family in Singapore. However, since General Kars did not say no, the secretary still honestly transferred the phone call to him. Hello, I am Kars. General Kars still had some respect for Li Ziqing. After all, he had received Li Ziqing's favor when he started. Hello, General Kars. I am Li Ziqing. My son is not sensible and may have offended you. Please don't take it to heart. Li Ziqing heard the voice of General Kars, and the first thing was to apologize. And nothing. General Kars said faintly, Your son is not wrong. But I heard that you want to take back the gold mine. Li Ziqing said sincerely. It seemed that Li Tianjia was right. It was indeed General Kars who was angry because of the rent. Chapter 11:20. Li Ziqing, we are also old acquaintances. You also understand my temper. General Kars said, In this matter, I have given you enough face. I am worthy of you as an old friend. However, you really don't want my face. My funds are already tight. You still delay the rent. I have no choice. I can only take back the gold mine and use it for other purposes. General Kars, my funds are really tight. It is also a coincidence that our funds are also together today. You see if you can make an exception. Li Ziqing said humbly. I can't make an exception. We have already decided this matter in a meeting. General Kars said, This can't be changed. But looking at the face of an old friend for many years, let's forget about this matter. I told the child before that our relationship was broken. Those were just words of anger. If there is anything good in the future, I will inform you again. This, okay. Li Ziqing heard General Kars' tone was very firm. He knew that there was basically no hope for this matter, so Li Ziqing no longer insisted because it was useless to insist. General Kars said that they could continue to maintain a friendly relationship. If there was something good in the future, he would think of them. Such a result was acceptable. In front of General Kars, Li Ziqing did not dare to be too soft. And contact me again if there is anything. I am still very busy here. General Kars said perfunctorily and hung up the phone. AI. Li Ziqing sighed. It seemed that there was no turning point in the matter. The gold mine could only be given up. If he knew that there would be such a result, it was better to collect the money and buy the gold mine. He did not have to wait for the Huang family. However, Li Ziqing still vented his biggest resentment on Huang Xiaofei. In his opinion, if it weren't for Huang Xiaofei's hesitation, this matter might have already been settled. All the consequences were caused by Huang Xiaofei. Li Ziqing picked up the phone and was ready to call Huang Xiaofei to scold him to relieve the hatred in his heart. However, when the phone was dialed, Li Ziqing quickly hung up the phone. An extremely evil idea rose in Li Ziqing's mind. He thought of a very bad idea. He had suffered a loss in Country X, so he had to get it back from Huang Xiaofei. Li Ziqing chuckled, picked up the phone on the table, and dialed Huang Xiaofei's phone. "Mr. Huang, how is it? Have you thought it through?" Huang Xiaofei was thinking about how to make Huang Lele submit, but there was no good way after thinking about it. As he was worried, Li Ziqing's phone call came in. Huang Xiaofei picked up the phone nervously. When he heard Li Ziqing's voice, he quickly said, "Mr. Li, I haven't figured out a way yet. You also know that Lele's thoughts are more avant-garde. He doesn't listen to me. Oh, if it really doesn't work, then forget it." Li Ziqing didn't ask for Huang Lele to marry him now. He wanted to implement a more evil plan. "I have discussed it with Tianjia. He also said that it is better to pursue feelings by oneself. That's why he plans to pursue your Lulu personally." "Ah. That would be for the best." Huang Xiaofei suddenly breathed a sigh of relief after listening. He thought that Li Ziqing was forcing him to abdicate, but he did not expect that Li Ziqing was here to compromise. "Hee, I think so, too. Everyone is happy." "Right, when will your money be in place?" "General Kars is in a hurry. You also know that this can't be delayed." Li Ziqing changed the topic and said with a smile. "I see." Huang Xiaofei began to have a headache again. He didn't know how to tell Lele. It was another problem. "When is the deadline over there?" "By tomorrow morning at the latest. If I don't transfer the money, then the gold mine will be taken back and will not be given to us. So you have to hurry up," said Li Ziqing. "Well, then I will implement this as soon as possible." Huang Xiaofei rubbed his temples and said, "You should do it as soon as possible." Li Ziqing saw that things were about to be done, and he was very happy. "Then let's do this first. After you have raised the money, call me to inform me." "Don't worry." Huang Xiaofei nodded and promised, "Before tomorrow, I will transfer the money to you." After hanging up the phone, Huang Xiaofei began to feel troubled. His own Country X investment plan, he did not expect the 3 children to disagree. Even the eldest, Huang Rongtian, disagreed. They all unanimously advised him to invest the money in a legitimate business, but how could a legitimate business be more profitable than a gold mine? It was simply a world of difference. Huang Xiaofei wanted to call Huang Rongtian, but he gave up the idea. Huang Rongtian was not on his side this time. How could he let Huang Lele take out the money obediently? Right. Huang Xiaofei suddenly had a brainwave. Didn't Huang Lele say it before? If the money was used in a legitimate business, she would support it. Then, he would pretend to do a legitimate business and then cheat the money. In this way, wouldn't it be up to him to decide what to do? Thinking of this, Huang Xiaofei was excited. He quickly went out of the study and walked to Huang Lele's room. Huang Lele's restrictions had recently been lifted, and she could use a mobile phone. However, when she called Yang Ming, it was either unreachable or turned off. She couldn't contact Yang Ming. How could she know that Yang Ming was already in Africa at the moment? He was helping her family solve the problem in Africa. She originally wanted to ask Yang Ming's opinion and ask his opinion on the use of the money. But the phone couldn't be connected, so Huang Lele had to give up. However, in fact, Huang Lele also understood that since Yang Ming gave the money to her, it was acquiescing to let her freely use the money. How to use it was actually up to Huang Lele herself. In fact, Yang Ming also thought so. When he gave Huang Lele the money, he had already hinted. Yang Ming was busy every day. Huang Lele also knew that, so she couldn't contact Yang Ming, so she no longer continued to contact him crazily. She quietly played games online, waiting for Yang Ming to take the initiative to contact her. Dang dang dang. There was a knock on the door. Who is it? please come in. Huang Leilei's mood was still good recently. At least, her father agreed that Yang Ming would come to the house. So, Huang Leilei was not as depressed as before. Leilei, it's me. Huang Xiaofei smiled and pushed the door and walked in. Dad? Why are you here? Huang Leilei was a bit baffled. Generally, if her father had something, he would call the servant or the butler downstairs to find them and go to her father's study. Her father rarely went downstairs to their room in person. Leilei, Dad just thought a lot. Previously, maybe Dad's thoughts were too stubborn. Huang Xiaofei sat in the chair opposite Huang Leilei and said. N. Huang Leilei was stunned. Dad, what are you talking about? Dad always thinks that if you marry Li Tianjia, you will be happy, but now I think that this idea may be wrong. Huang Xiaofei sighed and said, You won't blame Dad, right? Dad. I didn't. Huang Leilei heard her father say so and took the initiative to admit his mistake to her, so she couldn't say anything more. It's good that you didn't. Huang Xiaofei smiled and continued, Moreover, in Africa, I don't plan to do it. I have lost once, and I should learn from the experience, so I think it's better to forget about it. Dad, it's great that you can think like this. Huang Leilei finally breathed a sigh of relief. In this way, she didn't have to call Yang Ming. But now there is something I want to ask you for. Huang Xiaofei sighed slightly and pretended to be troubled. And this matter, I can only ask you. Dad, if you have something to say, just say it. I am your daughter. Don't say anything about begging. Huang Leilei said with some embarrassment. Then, I will say it. Huang Xiaofei paused and said, This is the case. Didn't we invest all the funds in the gold mine in Africa a while ago? We also borrowed a lot of money from the bank. Yeah, I know this. Huang Leilei nodded and said. Now, on our side, the bank is urging me to repay, and the company's normal operating funds are insufficient, so you see if you can take out your money and use it as the turnover fund for the family business. Huang Xiaofei said. This way. Huang Leilei was a bit embarrassed. After all, her father's current request was normal. The family business was also very difficult, and there was a lack of funds. This was what Huang Leilei couldn't refuse. Leilei, I originally wanted to stake everything and continue to get the gold mine in Africa, but now I think about it. After all, the family business is the foundation. It can't be lost, so I still think that we should do some legitimate business. Huang Xiaofei said earnestly. Then, you promise not to mention Li Tianjia's matter. You won't limit my freedom. Can I go back to work? Huang Leilei put forward her own conditions. Of course, Dad won't limit you anymore, and you can go back to work at any time. As for Li Tianjia's matter, he said that he wants to pursue you with his own ability. Then, don't bother about him. Whether you give him a chance or not is up to you. Huang Xiaofei said. Okay then. Huang Leilei saw that her father said that the money would be put into legitimate business, and she got her father's guarantee. Huang Leilei nodded and planned to take out the money. After all, the money was used for legitimate purposes, so Huang Leilei didn't think much about it. Even if Yang Ming knew, he would definitely agree. However, how could Huang Leilei think that her father could lie to her? Since she was a child, her father had always said what he wanted. Although he was somewhat stubborn and tough, he had never lied to anyone. Therefore, Huang Leilei didn't notice that this time was a little different, and she chose to directly believe in her father. Okay, when will you transfer the money? The bank is very anxious. When Huang Xiaofei heard that Huang Leilei agreed, he was overjoyed. He was afraid that a long delay would cause trouble, so he quickly said. Then do it now. Anyway, there is online banking. I can get it immediately. As Huang Lele said this, she opened the professional version of online banking on the computer and entered her password. For a moment, Huang Xiaofei only felt that his heart stopped. This was the first time he lied in front of his children, and it was such a big thing. However, in order to be able to achieve glory in the future, Huang Xiaofei still gritted his teeth and lied. "Dad, what is your company's account number?" asked Huang Lele. "The company's account is..." Huang Xiaofei said this, hesitated, and then said, "How about this? You transfer it to my personal account first. It is more troublesome to transfer it to the company's account." "Oh, that's fine too." Huang Lele did not doubt it and nodded. "Tell me the account number." The reason why Huang Xiaofei did not transfer it to the company's account was that Huang Rongtian could also monitor the company's account. If he found that there was such a large amount of money, he would definitely ask Huang Xiaofei. At that time, he would definitely be exposed. Therefore, for the sake of safety and insurance, Huang Xiaofei still let Huang Lele transfer the money to his personal account, so that Huang Rongtian would not find it. "My account number is..." Huang Xiaofei told his account number to Huang Lele, and Huang Lele entered the account number on the computer in turn. After Huang Xiaofei confirmed that there was no mistake, he said, "Yes, you can transfer the money." So, Huang Lele pressed the button to transfer the money. After a while, the system prompted, "Transfer successful." "Okay, Dad, you can confirm it," said Huang Lele. Okay. Huang Xiaofei was now so excited that he couldn't control himself. He was afraid that he would be exposed if he stayed in Huang Lele's room for a long time. He quickly left Huang Lele's room and ran to the study. Huang Lele didn't feel anything. After the transfer, she continued to play computer games. It was just that she couldn't contact Yang Ming recently, which made her a little irritated. Huang Lele suddenly thought of Wang Mei. She didn't know how she was doing now. She hadn't contacted Wang Mei for a long time, especially during this time when she was isolated at home. Huang Lele almost forgot about this former good friend. She picked up the phone and dialed the new number in Songjiang that Wang Mei gave her. Soon, the call was connected. "Hello." Wang Mei's surprised voice came from the phone. She wasn't very familiar with the number. It was the kind of number that was transferred from an international long-distance call. "Wang Mei, it's me, Lele." Huang Lele heard Wang Mei's voice and said happily, "Ah, it's you." Wang Mei suddenly screamed in surprise. "Lele, what happened to you? You didn't call me for so long. I thought you forgot me." "Something happened at home. I went back to Singapore. I just called you when I could." Huang Lele said apologetically. "How is it? Is the matter solved?" Wang Mei asked with some concern. "It's nothing. It's basically solved." Huang Lele said, "How are you over there? Are you okay?" "And I'm okay. Zhang Bin's original wife came to me." Wang Mei didn't hide this from Huang Lele and frankly confessed. "Ah." Huang Lele was shocked. When she heard Wang Mei say this, she also thought of herself. Yang Ming also has a girlfriend, right? Why? Are you scared? Wang Mei heard Huang Lele's scream and said with some amusement, "Yang Ming has a lot of girlfriends. What does that have to do with me?" Huang Lele denied with some panic, "I'm not going back to get involved." "Ha! In fact, Sister Zhao. And Zhang Bin's girlfriend is good to me." Wang Mei smiled and said, "She didn't reject me. She didn't say anything bad to me. It's fine as long as you're doing well." "I'm relieved." Huang Lele nodded. "Right, do you know how Yang Ming is doing recently?" "Yang Ming? Why?" Didn't he contact you? Wang Mei asked, baffled. I contacted him before, but now the phone can't be reached. I don't know where he is. Huang Lele said. Oh, yes, I remember. Zhang Bin said a few days ago that Yang Ming was going on a long trip to Africa to contact the jewelry company about the ore problem. He has been gone for a few days. There may be no phone call there. Wang Mei suddenly said. It turned out to be like this. Huang Lele was relieved after hearing it. As long as Yang Ming was fine, it was fine. Moreover, Yang Ming went to Africa. Was he going to solve her family's problem? Although she felt that Yang Ming was unlikely to know people in Africa, she was still very happy to hear Wang Mei say so. Are you worried about him? Wang Mei asked with a smile. I'm not. Huang Lele's face was red. Wang Mei did not force her, so she changed the topic. The two talked for more than half an hour before they reluctantly hung up the phone. However, Huang Lele gave Wang Mei her phone number in Singapore so that she could contact her at any time if something happened. Yang Ming and Li Chang walked to the door of the mine together. Before they reached the door, they saw a pair of soldiers confronting their own people at the door of the mine. The weapons on the soldiers were much worse than the weapons on Yang Ming's people. The number of people was not as large as Yang Ming's side, so they did not dare to be presumptuous. They just stood at the door and waited for Yang Ming and others to come out. What's the matter? Yang Ming did not need to say much. Li Chang had already asked first. Report. One of Li Chang's men immediately trotted to Li Chang. After standing straight, he gave a military salute. Captain Li, these people claim to be from General Kar's government. They are ordered to take over this mine. You didn't tell them that this mine belongs to the Huang family in Singapore. Have you signed a contract? Asked Li Chang. No, before we get the order, we don't dare to speak casually, said the man. Yang Ming nodded secretly at the side. The discipline of these people was still very strict. They would not act on their own initiative. You tell them that now. Yang Ming instructed the man. Yes, Mr. Yang. The man obviously knew that Yang Ming was Li Chang's boss, so he did not hesitate to execute Yang Ming's order and trotted in the direction of the door. Chapter 11:21. Our boss said. This is the gold mine of the Huang family in Singapore. The contract has been signed. The man quickly ran to the door and said to the soldiers at the door. Your contract was signed with the previous government. It is invalid. The soldier said after listening, now, you should evacuate the square immediately. Otherwise, you will be punished for disobeying the military order. Since he already knew the boss's opinion, the man didn't care. With a wave of his hand, the people behind him picked up their submachine guns and aimed at the soldiers at the door. We don't care what you stand for. In my eyes, my boss's order is a military order. These soldiers of General Kars, when they saw that they were not the opponents of others at all, they did not dare to fight head-on. They quickly made a gesture to wait, took out the phone, and called General Kars. General Kars did not expect that today's phone call would be so busy. However, when he heard the secretary say that it was his captain of the guards, he quickly picked it up. Hello. What's the matter? Said General Kars. Reporting to General Kars, the gold mine is occupied by a group of armed forces. According to their leader, they represent the Huang family in Singapore, said the captain of the guards. General Kars said, didn't you tell them that the contract with the Huang family is invalid? Said General Kars. I said it, but they didn't listen. Their military equipment is obviously better than ours. We can't forcibly incorporate them, said the captain of the guards. What's going on? General Kars frowned. A small gold mine was so troublesome. There were so many things happening in one day. First, it was the Li family. This time, it was the Huang family. What made General Kars feel very strange was that the Huang family had no power, right? How could they suddenly have such a powerful armed force? We don't know what's going on. But this group of armed forces is obviously much stronger than us. It should not be around here, because the armed forces nearby are stronger than us. The captain of the guards also said very strangely. So, you see if you can let the leader of the mine answer the phone. I will talk to him. General Kars was not stupid. He heard the chief guard say that the armed strength of the mine was obviously stronger than his own. Naturally, he could not fight head-on. Previously, he only took back the Huang family's gold mine because the Huang family did not have much strength. They did not have their own armed forces here. The other mine owners had their own armed forces, so if General Kars took back their mines, it was bound to trigger a war. However, now the Huang family's gold mine was actually occupied by a group of more powerful armed forces, so General Kars did not dare to act rashly. He had to find out the details of the other party first. I'll give it a try. The captain of the guard said. So far, he had not seen the person in charge of the gold mine. All he had seen were small fries. The captain of the guards took the phone and walked towards the mine. However, when he saw the black muzzle of the other party's gun, he was a little scared. Helpless, he could only raise his hands. What are you going to do? Li Chang's subordinate asked. Our general would like to speak with your leader, said the guard captain. What general? Does he deserve to speak to our leader? Li Chang's subordinate said disdainfully. Who were they afraid of? General Howden was so badass, but wasn't he still killed and incorporated into his subordinates? The captain of the guards listened to the words of Li Chang's subordinate. He was angry but did not dare to speak. The other party's strength was indeed strong, which he could not compare to. Let him bring the phone. At this time, Yang Ming and Li Chang also stepped forward and gestured to Li Chang's subordinate. Li Chang's subordinate listened to the order and said to General Kars, captain of the guards, I asked you to bring the phone over. Didn't you hear it? General Kars, captain of the guards, resisted his anger and handed over the phone in his hand. Yang Ming took the phone handed over by his subordinate and picked it up. Hello, who is this? I am General Kars. General Kars introduced himself, but he felt that the voice on the phone was familiar. He did not know where he had heard it. Which side are you from? This gold mine is now an official mine. You have no right to occupy it privately. Privately. I represent the Huang family of Singapore. This mine was originally ours. Yang Ming said faintly. It used to be, but not now. General Kars said, according to the regulations, you need to pay the rent again. Really? Have other people's mines been taken back? Yang Ming asked with a sneer. This. General Kars was suddenly speechless. Yes, I haven't taken back other people's mines. Only the Huang family's mine has been taken back. You think the Huang family is easy to bully, and you don't have anyone, right? Yang Ming said straightforwardly, but that was in the past. Now, I have occupied this mine. General Kars listened to Yang Ming's words, and his nose was crooked. However, there was no way. According to the captain of the guards, his own equipment was not as good as the others. If they really fought, he might suffer a loss. Do you mean that the war is over? General Kars had not been threatened like this since he came to power, so he was a little angry. War? Whatever. Yang Ming said faintly, I am a person. If there are no benefits, I generally don't like to kill people. But this time, it is my own business. There is no reward. I can reluctantly kill you. What do you mean? General Kars was already angry. Now that he was threatened by Yang Ming, he was even angrier. Nothing. Yang Ming smiled and said, although I helped you kill General Howden, it doesn't mean that I am on the same side as you. If I am not happy, I can kill you at any time. You are Mr. Yang. General Kars was shocked. He finally knew who was talking to him on the phone. He suddenly had a cold sweat. No wonder I felt that this voice was familiar before. It turns out to be Yang Ming. This frightened General Kars. He did not expect that Yang Ming would have a relationship with the Huang family. He would accept this gold mine on behalf of the Huang family. General Kars was very glad that he did not do anything irrational. Otherwise, he might be like General Howden now. Did you recognize my voice? Ha! Yang Ming smiled slightly. Huang Lele is my concubine. She said that she was bullied here. She asked me to vent her anger for her. I didn't expect that the one who bullied her was you. Although Yang Ming's words were plain and peaceful, General Kars took a deep breath. Although he didn't know who Huang Lele was, when he heard the surname Huang, he knew that she must be a member of the Huang family in Singapore. I didn't expect that someone in the Huang family is actually Mr. Yang's concubine. Isn't this too amazing? I thought that the Huang family is a soft egg that can be bullied at will. Now it seems that they are the least soft. He had seen Yang Ming's strength. Not to mention the new military equipment mentioned by the captain of the guards, even Yang Ming himself couldn't handle it. Thinking of this, General Kars quickly said, Mr. Yang, in fact, this is the case. This gold mine, I also intend to give it to you to promote the cooperative relationship between us. Since this gold mine is already yours, then it seems that I am superfluous. I will find another gift for you. Of course, the 2 gold mines as a reward will not be less than yours. It turns out that you wanted to give it to me long ago. But these are 2 different things. This gold mine is originally the Huang family's. I just came to accept it for them. Yang Ming listened to General Kars' words and felt a lot more comfortable in his heart. Seeing that Yang Ming relaxed and no longer complained, General Kars breathed a sigh of relief and said, Mr. Yang, you wait there. I will come over right away to celebrate for you. My captain of the guards has offended you before. Please don't be offended. Those who don't know are innocent. Yang Ming said faintly, if you come over, it's fine, but you have to be quick. I have to go to the Huang family in Singapore to meet Huang Lele's family. I will go now. General Kars said quickly, I will not delay your business. Please give the phone to my captain of the guards. Yang Ming nodded and handed the phone back to the captain of the guards. The captain of the guards took the phone and said, General Kars, what should I do now? You didn't offend Mr. Yang, right? Asked General Kars in a hurry. Mr. Yang. Who is it? The captain of the guards was stunned. It is the owner of the mine. You didn't be rude to him, right? General Kars explained. No. I am calling you right away. The captain of the guards didn't know why General Kars asked this, but he still replied truthfully. It's good that you didn't offend him. General Kars breathed a sigh of relief. If he offended him, it would not be good. You bring people back immediately. If you want to apologize to them, your attitude must be respectful and humble. You have to respect them more than me. Do you understand? Ah. Yes. Although the captain of the guards did not understand, he still obeyed General Kars' orders. The captain of the guards finished the phone call and said carefully to Yang Ming and the others, I have offended you just now. I am really sorry. I will immediately take people to evacuate from here. You can go. Yang Ming waved his hand and let the captain of the guards leave. This matter had nothing to do with him. He was just carrying out General Carr's orders. Yang Ming did not want to embarrass him. When the captain of the guards walked back, General Carr also put down his official duties without stopping. He asked for a car and rushed to the gold mine with his guards. He absolutely could not afford to offend people like Yang Ming. General Carr regretted his superfluous action. His good intentions turned into bad things. The gold mine belonged to Yang Ming. What else did he have to worry about? Thinking of this, he couldn't help but hate the Li family. This Li family didn't explain how much power the Huang family had, and they still blindly interfered in the middle. The Huang family had Yang Ming's help, so why would they need the Li family? On the way, he met his captain of the guards. General Carr did not have time to talk nonsense with him. He just gestured for him to go back, and then he rushed in the direction of the gold mine. Yang Ming did not expect General Carr to come so quickly. The phone call had not been hung up for a while, and General Carr's car arrived at the door. The underling reported that General Carr was asking for an audience. This use of words made Yang Ming feel very funny. General Carr was the highest person in charge of Country X, right? He actually used the word asking for an audience. However, since General Carr had this awareness, Yang Ming did not need to talk nonsense. It seemed that his idea should be realized soon. If General Carr wanted to sit in this position now, he could not do without his help. Of course, that was a matter for the future. Now, Yang Ming was not prepared to be too arrogant. After the underling reported, he went out with Wang Xiaoyan to greet General Carr. In front of Yang Ming, General Carr did not dare to put on any airs. He hurriedly got off the car and ran quickly to Yang Ming. Then, he took the initiative to extend his right hand and shook hands with Yang Ming. Congratulations, Mr. Yang. The mission is successfully completed. I am very happy. It's a piece of cake, said Yang Ming faintly. Although the process was a bit complicated, Yang Ming would never say these words to General Carr. The simpler and easier he acted, the more mysterious and powerful General Carr would feel that he was, and the more powerful he would be. General Carr would not underestimate him. For Mr. Yang, it is naturally a piece of cake, but for me, this Hao Barton is undoubtedly a big problem. General Carr was more in awe of Yang Ming in his heart. Please come in. Don't stand here and talk. Yang Ming made an inviting gesture and led General Carr in. To be honest, this was the first time General Carr had come here. Although he wanted to take back this gold mine before, he had never been here. For him, this kind of place did not need to come in person. But now it was different. General Carr looked at the minerals in his territory for the first time. The two walked side by side to the reception room of the mine. Wang Xiaoyan followed Yang Ming. General Carr's guards were nervous to protect General Carr. Seeing this situation, General Carr waved his hand and signaled that he could not follow. With Yang Ming by his side, this guard was almost equivalent to a figurehead. If Yang Ming wanted to kill him, 10 guards could not stop him. If Yang Ming did not want to kill him, then there was no need for a guard. Yang Ming could deal with the danger casually. When they came to the reception room, General Carr looked at the situation inside. He did not take a seat, but he gave the main seat to Yang Ming. After Yang Ming sat down, he sat on the side. Yang Ming did not decline modestly. What he wanted was this absolute strong momentum. Although this time he was not prepared to have a showdown with General Carr, this kind of superior pressure still had to be applied to General Carr. These are the transfer books of the 2 gold mines and a diamond mine. General Carr couldn't figure out Yang Ming's temper, but he also knew that Yang Ming definitely did not like the nonsense, so he went straight to the subject after sitting down and put Yang Ming's reward on the table. Yang Ming also took the transfer book without hesitation. After checking it, he pushed it to Wang Xiaoyan on the side and let her keep it first. Yang Ming was not afraid that General Kars would play word games on the contract. Also, this is the transfer book of this gold mine. I wanted to give it to you together, but since the gold mine is already yours, it doesn't make sense. I will help you make up a transfer book. General Kars handed another transfer book to Yang Ming. Yang Ming glanced at it. It was indeed the transfer book of the current gold mine. It seemed that General Kars was still a determined person. If he went to Singapore, he could raise his eyebrows in front of the Huang family. I am already very satisfied with this. Yang Ming nodded and took the power of attorney. It is good that you are satisfied. General Kars was afraid that Yang Ming was not satisfied and took the opportunity to find fault. But now it seemed that Yang Ming really did not want to embarrass him. General Kars also relaxed his nerves. I think our cooperation will be long-term and pleasant. This is just the beginning. If you need anything, you can contact me at any time through Li Chang. Yang Ming said and introduced Li Chang to General Kars. This is Li Chang, my capable man. He has also made a great contribution to the assassination of Houghton. Hello, nice to meet you. General Kars quickly got up and shook hands with Li Chang. He also understood in his heart that everyone around Yang Ming could not be provoked. All of them were ruthless characters, and he could not neglect them. Hello, General Kars. After Li Chang shook hands with General Kars, he continued to stand behind Yang Ming in a well-behaved manner. I am going to leave Li Chang here. One is to take care of the gold mine for me. The other is to establish an assassin and mercenary organization here. What do you think? Asked Yang Ming. General Kars was stunned. He didn't expect Yang Ming to set up a base here. Yang Ming's strength was so strong. General Kars was a little worried that Yang Ming would seize power. If Yang Ming wanted to seize power, it was simply a piece of cake. However, it was useless to worry about this kind of thing. If Yang Ming wanted to take him down, he couldn't stop it even if he wanted to. If Yang Ming didn't want to, then establishing a powerful assassin group here would be a great help to his career development. Therefore, there was a good side and a bad side. It all depended on Yang Ming's intentions. That's good. In this way, we can have in-depth cooperation. General Kars said quickly after he understood this. You can rest assured. I am not interested in the civil affairs here. I just want to make money. Yang Ming also saw General Kars' worries, so he gave him a dose of precaution. It was just that Yang Ming said that he was not interested in civil affairs, but he did not say that he was not interested in the armed forces. When he had military power, General Kars would only be a temporary president that he supported. I don't mean that. General Kars was seen through by Yang Ming, and he was a little embarrassed. In this place, except for the minerals that are valuable, Mr. Yang really doesn't care about the rest. Chapter 11:22. However, I asked General Kars to take care of the Huang family's business here. Yang Ming still had to return this gold mine to the Huang family and let them manage it themselves. Yang Ming's people couldn't always stay here. He could only give them some help when needed. They usually still had to rely on General Kars' help. No problem. This is easy to talk about. General Kars said quickly, you can rest assured in the future. If the Huang family has anything, you can look for me at any time. If I can't solve it, you can do it. With your words, it's fine. Yang Ming smiled. It seemed that the Huang family could run amok here in the future. He no longer had to be careful. It's a piece of cake. Even without me, Mr. Yang can still handle it. General Kars also laughed. Now it seemed that the relationship with Yang Ming was developing well. If possible, General Kars naturally wanted to maintain it. However, Yang Ming couldn't stay in Africa all the time. As long as General Kars said this, Yang Ming was relieved. Several people talked happily. In the evening, General Kars invited Yang Ming, Wang Xiaoyan, and Li Chang to a banquet in his presidential palace. Although this war-torn country lacked supplies, the banquet was still sumptuous. However, vegetables and fruits were relatively fewer, not as much as meat. Probably because these things were not easy to grow because of the war, they were all shipped from foreign countries. Mr. Yang, I hope that our friendship will last forever. In the future, we will cooperate happily. General Kars was glowing at the moment. He could be said to be the first president of Country X who had a deep relationship with a powerful foreign aid. If he could continue to cooperate with Yang Ming, then he might be able to sit in the position of the president forever. Moreover, maybe he could remove the word temporary and become an official president. General Kars thought of this, and his eyes shone brightly. General Kars drank a lot of wine, but Yang Ming did not drink at all. In this war-torn country, Yang Ming had to keep his mind clear at all times. General Kars did not force him. After all, he also knew Yang Ming's identity. He probably guessed that Yang Ming would not drink to affect his reaction ability. However, Yang Ming did not restrict Li Chang and let him drink with General Kars. It was not very pleasant. Both of them drank very happily, especially General Kars, who was very happy. Early the next morning, Li Chang took people to receive the 2 gold and diamond mines. Yang Ming didn't need to worry about these things. Li Chang and the others could handle it. Under the urging of Old Buffon, Yang Ming and Wang Xiaoyan had to embark on a journey to Europe with Old Buffon. Although Yang Ming and Wang Xiaoyan did not have legal procedures and passports for this trip, with Old Buffon, these were not problems at all. No one dared to check Old Buffon's guests. Even when Old Buffon's ship entered the port, the staff on the dock stopped the work in their hands and stood neatly in a row to welcome Old Buffon's ship into the port. The general manager of the port had already received the notice. He stood at the front of the row of staff at the port early. With his big beer belly, he was lecturing his men. In a while, you all have to be smart. The ship of the respected Buffon family patriarch will enter our port. This is the glory of our port. If Mr. Buffon is satisfied, the chairman will also praise us and give you a raise. But if Mr. Buffon is not satisfied with your service, then you, including me, have to pack up and leave. Do you hear me? Yes. The staff at the port said in unison. They also knew some things about the Buffon family. Although the Buffon family was not their direct leader, the Buffon family was one of the major shareholders of this port. Even the chairman could only take office with the support of the Buffon family. Therefore, the weight of the Buffon family patriarch was naturally heavy. No one dared to neglect, so everyone stood on the edge of the port in high spirits, waiting for Old Buffon's ship to enter the port. There is one more thing. I heard that Mr. Buffon has an important guest. You all have to perform better. Don't let Mr. Buffon's guest find fault. The general manager of the port instructed. As soon as the words were spoken, the sound of the ship entering the port came from not far away from the port. The port manager immediately stopped talking and stood at the front solemnly. Master's wife, this is my hometown. How is it? Is it beautiful? Old Buffon said to Yang Ming and Wang Xiaoyan who were standing on the deck. And, not bad. The air is very good. Yang Ming was telling the truth. The port here was indeed much better than Country X's. The difference was like heaven and earth. Mr. Buffon, the port has sent us a signal. We can enter the port now. Do you want to go in now or enjoy the scenery at sea for a while? Lex saw that old Buffon was enjoying the scenery with Yang Ming and Wang Xiaoyan. He didn't dare to make a decision, so he asked for instructions. Master's wife, what do you think? Old Buffon didn't know what Yang Ming meant, so he asked. Of course, we should enter the port. Although the scenery here is good, it won't make people forget to eat and sleep. Yang Ming smiled and said. Lex quickly trotted back to instruct the first mate and sailors on the ship to prepare to enter the port. Yang Ming, Wang Xiaoyan, and old Buffon left from the port's dedicated VIP channel. They didn't use the channel for other tourists. On the VIP channel, no one came forward to check Yang Ming's or Wang Xiaoyan's documents. It could be seen that old Buffon's influence in the local area. Yang Ming asked himself that he couldn't be as influential as old Buffon at Songjiang's port. At most, he would choose to sneak ashore in Songjiang. Old Buffon, on the other hand, was justified in bringing the stowaways ashore, and no one dared to check. Out of the port, they saw a luxury Bentley extended version of the Arnage limousine. This was a commemorative limousine that was limited to only 20 in the world. Although the price was only £270,000, it was enough to show old Buffon's power to own one. The car slowly started, passed through the downtown area, and then drove to the suburbs. Old Buffon was also a person who liked quiet, so he didn't set his residence in the city center. Anyway, all the matters such as shopping were done by his subordinates. Old Buffon didn't travel easily, so there was not much difference where he lived. However, the air in the suburbs was better, which was suitable for him to practice martial arts. After passing through a farm, the car drove onto a small road. At the small intersection, there was a sign clearly stating that this was a private territory, and it was strictly prohibited to enter without permission. Around the path, there were gardens and gardens. Through the window, there were workers and gardeners working hard. This was already old Buffon's family private territory. Going forward, a small farm could be seen. It was probably used to grow some commonly used vegetables and fruits. This kind of rural life made Yang Ming very fascinated. If one day, I can have a private manor like old Buffon, how great would it be? Of course, if I told old Buffon would definitely fund to help Yang Ming build a manor anyway, but that was not Yang Ming's original intention. Yang Ming wanted to achieve all this through his own efforts. The current plan of Country X in Africa was naturally the first step. If everything went smoothly, then it wouldn't be difficult to fulfill his wish. On the periphery of the manor, many servants and staff could be seen. When old Buffon's car passed by, they all put down the work in their hands and stood neatly, welcoming old Buffon's car as it passed by. However, when they drove into the most central villa area of the manor, there were few servants and staff. This was also why old Buffon liked to be quiet and did not want to be disturbed. In particular, old Buffon still had to practice martial arts. He did not like to be watched by others, and he was even more afraid that these servants would steal his skills. Therefore, in the villa area, other than the old butler and a few necessary servants, no one was allowed to enter casually. Master, this is my home. The villa in front is prepared for you and Master's wife. Moreover, I plan to make it your permanent residence after you leave. You can come to my place at any time, said old Buffon. Hee, that's not necessary. When we come, just be ready at any time. Yang Ming smiled and refused. How can that be? You are my elders. I should respect you. Besides, there are a lot of vacant villas here. This one is not bad. Old Buffon said in a hurry. All right then. Yang Ming did not insist. Since old Buffon said so, then let him be. Old Buffon wanted to hold a family banquet and gather all the members of the Buffon family to attend, but it was vetoed by Yang Ming. Yang Ming did not want to make such a big fuss. Therefore, only Old Buffon and Mrs. Old Buffon were left at the banquet. However, the smaller the banquet, the easier it was to say some words without so much precaution. After Yang Ming said some precautions when practicing martial arts, Old Buffon was particularly excited. Although Mrs. Old Buffon did not understand what her husband was saying, she was naturally very happy to see her husband so happy and his body getting stronger day by day. She was Old Buffon's second wife. His first wife died more than 10 years ago. When she married Old Buffon, she was only in her early 20s. Now, she was only in her 30s, but Old Buffon was already old, so there was no joy in their bed life. However, as the first lady of the Buffon family, she could not complain about anything. It was even more impossible for her to have an affair, so she could only endure silently. Unexpectedly, since Old Buffon started practicing martial arts, his body had become extremely strong. He was more energetic than a young man in his 20s. This made Old Buffon's wife overjoyed. Therefore, no matter what, she was still very grateful to Yang Ming. Therefore, she was very enthusiastic at the dinner table. "Right, Master, how is the Founders Company? Is the information that I asked someone to bring over okay? Why don't I contact some more partnerships here?" Old Buffon said with a red face. "No need. It is already very good now. You still have to rely on yourself to develop. However, if there is any latest technical information that can be shared, then it is naturally what I want." Yang Ming said very shamelessly. Forget about the cooperation. The other party would definitely have the initiative of the technology. However, the sharing of information would be an advantage for free. And this is not a problem. Old Buffon nodded and said, "I will ask my subordinates tomorrow to sort out some of the information that can be shared. However, if it really involves some military secrets, I can't do anything. Although I am a major shareholder, I also have to abide by the confidentiality regulations. Of course, I won't embarrass you for those things." Yang Ming naturally knew this. Never mind Old Buffon, even the president of a country who wanted to release some confidential information was not an easy thing to do. If it was not done well, he would be collectively impeached by the members of parliament. Similarly, even if Old Buffon was a dictator, it was impossible to do something that would offend the public. What he could do was to do what he could and help Yang Ming to the greatest extent possible. However, this was enough. For a private enterprise, it did not need those confidential military technologies. "Master, are you interested in this Shuya?" Although Old Buffon did not care about the entertainment industry, he also knew that some people liked to play with celebrities, so he was not sure if Yang Ming was such a person. I like her very much." Yang Ming said bluntly, "Can you get tickets for the concert?" "Of course, this is not a problem." Old Buffon nodded quickly and secretly planned to contact the company tomorrow to see which company was the organizer of Shuya's concert. If possible, arrange a chance for Shuya and Master to meet alone. With Master's handsomeness, he would definitely be able to capture the beauty's heart. Yang Ming naturally did not know Old Buffon's thoughts. Otherwise, he would definitely stop him from doing so. In this foreign country, especially with Wang Xiaoyan around, it was not very convenient to meet Shuya. Besides, foreign reporters were everywhere. Yang Ming was also afraid of bringing trouble to Shuya. Huang Xiaofei returned to his study and took a few deep breaths before he calmed down. His hands trembled as he turned on the computer in the study. Watching the progress bar of the system on the computer slowly rolling, Huang Xiaofang felt that the computer started so slowly for the first time. Finally, he entered the system. After successfully connecting to the internet, Huang Xiaofang quickly opened his online bank account. After seeing that his account had 40 billion patakas, Huang Xiaofang was so excited that he wanted to scream. The money was finally in his hands. Although he deceived his daughter, he had to do it now. He wanted to continue to invest in the gold mine of Country X in Africa. Under the opposition of his children, Huang Xiaofei had to take the risk. After confirming that the funds had been transferred to his account, Huang Xiaofei dialed Li Ziqing's phone. "Mr. Huang, how is it? Is the funds in place?" Li Ziqing was also anxious. Huang Xiaofei should not go back on his words. Then, his plan would be ruined. "It is in place." Huang Xiaofei said, "What do I do now?" "Transfer the funds to you." "Can you write me a receipt?" Li Ziqing was stunned. He did not expect Huang Xiaofei to ask him to write a receipt. If this receipt was written, how could he embezzle his money? So Li Ziqing said, "This fund is not transferred to me. It is directly transferred to General Car's account. I will give you the account, and you can transfer the money directly." "Well, that's good too. Then we'd better meet and do this together." Huang Xiaofei had to be cautious about such a large sum of money. Chapter 11:23. "Okay, then let's do it tonight," said Li Ziqing. He looked at his watch. There was still a long time to work on this matter. "Okay, then let's do it tonight." Huang Xiaofei was also afraid of long delays, so he agreed readily. Of course, he did not know that what was waiting for him was a scam. He lied to Huang Lele, and Li Ziqing lied to him. This was a series of lies, but Li Ziqing was still unaware. Li Ziqing hung up the phone and began to get busy. First, he called his youngest son, Li Tianyu. "Tianyu, how are you?" Li Ziqing dialed Li Tianyu's phone. "Father, the gold mine has been completely occupied by others, but it seems that General Kars has not recovered the gold mine. I think it is because their armed forces are too strong, so General Kars does not dare to act rashly." Li Tianyu analyzed. He did not know the relationship between General Kars and Yang Ming. He thought that General Kars was afraid of Yang Ming's armed forces, so he did not make a move. In fact, General Kars was afraid of Yang Ming. Of course, these armed forces were also a factor. Really? General Kars actually did not make a move. Li Ziqing was also very puzzled. This General Kars was simply bullying the weak and fearing the strong, but so what? In that kind of war-torn country, it was the law of the jungle. There were no rules. Whoever was stronger would be the boss. According to Li Tianyu, the other party's armed forces were very strong. It was normal for General Kars to be afraid. No, General Kars came in person later, but he did not recover the gold mine. Li Tianyu said, "I don't know what happened after that. I have now withdrawn to our own iron mine. It is safe now." AI. Li Ziqing sighed and said, "Who made our strength not good enough? But that kind of place is definitely not a place where businessmen like us can play." Although the Li family also had a small armed force, it was just some strong men with rifles. It was enough to protect the safety of their little iron mine, but if they wanted to go to war with others, it was not enough to fill the gaps between the other party's teeth. Li Ziqing also understood that if his armed forces were strong enough, General Kars would not treat him with this attitude. Not to mention respect, at least there was some respect in his words. Now, he was completely humbling himself to please the other party. Thinking of the gap between them, Li Ziqing could only helplessly endure it. Fortunately, there was still the big head of the Huang family. He could still trick him. "Father, what should we do now?" Li Tianjia didn't want to give up just like that. He had always been in charge of his family's overseas business. However, there was only one iron mine in Country X, and the income was far worse than the family's local company. He thought that after this gold mine investment was successful, his status in the family would also rise, but it ended in failure. Of course, he won't give up, but what about others? Li Ziqing snorted. For example, General Kars, what else can he do? Last time, he lost so much money and suffered such a big loss. He still didn't dare to speak up. Can't he swallow the bitterness in his stomach? Ah. Father, do you mean that you want to pretend that this money was accepted by General Kars? Is that so? Li Tianyu was not stupid. He immediately understood his father's meaning. But, if General Kars received the money, and the Huang family did not get the gold mine, can he do it? Can't he come and find it? General Kars went back on his word once. Can't he go back on his word a second time? Li Ziqing sneered. Besides, let's say that General Kars has agreed, but the gold mine is occupied by another group of armed forces who claim to be the Huang family. What can the Huang family do? If he has the ability, he can go to the armed forces and ask for the gold mine. So, but it works. Li Tianyu nodded after listening and said, but, isn't this a scam? It's not good, right? If the Huang family knows the truth. How can he know? Besides, the 40 billion patakas this time may be the last of the Huang family's assets and life-saving money. If this money is gone, the Huang family will be finished. In the future, there will be no Huang family in our business world. What is there to be afraid of? Li Ziqing said indifferently. This is also true. Li Tianyu thought about it and said, Hee, father, you are so astute. You don't suffer any losses. That's right. You brothers have to learn. Whoever learns to be as treacherous as me in the end can take over the family. Li Ziqing said, do business. You can't be too kind. That is the truth of all businessmen. Father, I understand. Just tell me what to do. Li Tianyu listened to his father's tone and said quickly. You go and send someone to open an account in a bank in Africa. It is best to forge an identity document and open an account in the name of General Kars so that the Huang family will not be suspicious. Li Ziqing said, this is the first step. There is no problem, right? No problem. Father, you can rest assured. This is a piece of cake. Li Tianyu promised. Well, then, you look at your men. Is there anyone who speaks like General Kars? Even if it is not very similar, it doesn't matter. Originally, Huang Xiaofei did not call General Kars, and it is normal for the voice transmitted through the phone to be distorted. He will not be suspicious. Huang Xiaofei said. Li Ziqing said, when the time comes, I will call you. You will pretend to be General Kars and deal with me. Okay. This is easy to handle. I will choose the best candidate in a while. Li Tianyu nodded and replied. But there is no way to determine the content of the conversation now because Huang Xiaofei is on the side. He may ask some questions. This requires you to adapt to the situation, but this is not a big problem for your IQ, right? Li Ziqing smiled. Don't worry, father. This is easy. I am the best at it. Li Tianyu promised. What you have to do is this. It seems simple, but don't make any mistakes. If so, our plan will fail. Li Ziqing advised. You don't have to worry about this. I will not let you down. Li Tianyu said. Li Ziqing said, and hung up the phone with relief. On this side, he had to plan how to tell Huang Xiaofei in a while. Old Buffon did not wait until the next morning. After returning to the room that night, he called the city's councillor, the owner of the opera house, Mr. Locklearing. Hello. Who is it? Locklearing rubbed his sleepy eyes and glanced at the clock on the bedside. It was more than 11 o'clock in the evening. Who is calling so late? So Lochlering's voice was not very friendly. It was no wonder. He was a rich man in the city, a member of the upper class, and a councillor of the city. It was natural for him to be arrogant. "It's me, Old Buffon." Old Buffon introduced himself. "Old Buffon. Who is it?" Lochlering was stunned and immediately sobered up. "Patriarch Buffon, is that you?" "It's me." Old Buffon said affirmatively. "Ah. I'm sorry, Patriarch Buffon. I was a little confused when I slept. I was a little rude just now. I'm really sorry." Lochlering suddenly changed his expression. Yes, never mind him, even the mayor of the city was respectful when he saw Old Buffon. He did not dare to have the slightest neglect. With just a word, the mayor could step down, let alone a councillor like him. Besides, the music group that his head office belonged to was still controlled by Old Buffon's family. If it was really based on seniority, he was just a small underling. It doesn't matter. Old Buffon was eager to do things for Yang Ming, so he would not pursue these small details. "There is a matter. Do you have tickets for Miss Shuya's concert?" "Ah." Lochlering was stunned. He thought, why would Patriarch Old Buffon go to the concert? But even though it was strange, he quickly said, "Yes, of course. I have as many tickets as you want." Although Shuya was not as popular in Europe as she was in Asia, she was also a very popular celebrity. Especially among young people, she was even more popular, so the ticket sales were still very hot. However, if Patriarch Old Buffon wanted tickets, there were as many as he wanted. Lochlering would rather not sell a whole concert ticket and give it all to Old Buffon. He was willing to do so. Even if the head office pursued it, Lochlering was not afraid. The chairman of the head office's chairman was respectful when he saw Old Buffon. "Okay, help me reserve 4 tickets. The seats must be better." Old Buffon said, "How much is it?" "I will ask my family to send it to you. This is a gift from me to you." "Why do you still need money?" How would Lochlering dare to ask for money? Besides, it was just 4 tickets. It was not a big deal. "Then I will accept it." Old Buffon did not say much. In his opinion, there was no need to decline back and forth because of these small things. "Right, do you know which company is organizing Shuya's concert?" "The organizer is the parent company of our theater group, Xingmei Music Group." Lochlering said, "However, the specific matters are handled by the local opera house." "Patriarch Buffon, what can I do for you?" "This is the case. I have a very important guest. If we talk about it, he is also my elder. He likes Miss Shuya very much. Can you see if you can arrange for them to meet?" said Old Buffon. "This." Lochlering hesitated. He was very troubled in his heart, but he obviously misunderstood Old Buffon's meaning. "Why? Is there a problem?" Old Buffon asked, "Do you want me to say hello to Xingmei Music Group?" "That's not necessary." Lochlering had to say truthfully, "Patriarch Buffon, Miss Shuya is a VIP invited by us. She is not a singer under our music group. There are some things that we can't control. Miss Shuya's family is also very prominent. She was once invited by Miss Alice. If your friend treats her." When Old Buffon heard Lochlering say this, he suddenly laughed. "Lochlering. You misunderstood. I just said that I want you to create an opportunity for them to meet. It is just a simple meeting. There is no need to ask for anything else. Whether or not he can get Miss Shuya's favor completely depends on my friend himself." "So that's the case." Lochlering breathed a sigh of relief. He thought that patriarch Old Buffon's friend wanted to play some unspoken rules, which made things difficult for him. After all, this was not a singer under his own company. He couldn't ask for anything from her. Then I am relieved. I'm sorry. I just misunderstood. You also know that in my position, there are many rich people looking for me to introduce small celebrities to them. LoveLore apologized. I understand. Old Buffon didn't say anything. This is not a problem, right? No. I can invite you and your friend to participate in the celebration banquet. What do you think? Said LoveLore. There are too many people at the celebration banquet. You see if there are any small banquets, such as a reception banquet. It is best if there are only a few people. Said Old Buffon. Okay, then I will arrange it. Said LoveLore. After you arrange it, give me a call. My phone number is. This is my private phone number. You can just call directly. Old Buffon told LoveLore his private phone number. LoveLore suddenly had a burst of excitement. This is the private phone number of patriarch Old Buffon. You know how many people want to have this phone number but can't. I actually have it. How can I not be happy? No matter what, I must do this matter well. Patriarch Old Buffon's request was not high. It was just to attend a banquet together. It was no big deal. LoveLore hung up the phone and took out his work log. He recorded this matter and prepared to study it tomorrow. However, when LoveLore just hung up the phone rang again. LoveLore thought that it was still Old Buffon who called. He forgot to explain something, so he quickly picked up the phone respectfully. Do you have anything that I can help you with? Counselor LoveLore, you did a good job. I called you with my son's phone. You are so polite when you see an unfamiliar number. I think you are a counselor who is close to the people. The voice of the city's mayor, Mark Vader, came from the phone. Hello, Mayor Mark Vader. LoveLore was shocked. He thought to himself, what happened tonight? Why are all the big shots calling me? However, I didn't expect my respectful tone to get the mayor's approval. This made LoveLore very happy. And, Counselor LoveLore, I heard that your opera house is going to hold a concert recently, right? Said Mayor Mark Vader. This is the case, Mayor Mark Vader. LoveLore said, it's the concert of the Asian star, Miss Shuya. That's not bad. I have something to trouble you. My son, Malajben, is a fan of Miss Shuya. I want to ask you for a few concert tickets. Said Mayor Mark Vader. No problem. LoveLore quickly agreed. It's a small matter. I will send someone to send it to the mayor's office tomorrow. Chapter 11:24. And then I'll trouble you. Mayor Mark Vader said politely, there is one more thing. Can you see if you can arrange for my son and Miss Shuya to meet alone? This kid, Malajben, is very obsessed with Miss Shuya. This. LoveLore was a little embarrassed. Mayor Mark Vader's family's young master, Malajben, was a typical playboy. He ran a trading company and had some money on hand, but he spent it all on pursuing starlets. There was almost no surplus in a year. However, Mark Vader only had one son at his old age, so he spoiled him very much. Fortunately, Mark Vader had a daughter who opened an investment company with good returns. Mark Vader didn't expect his son to have a great future. Why? Is there any difficulty? In Mayor Mark Vader's view, this wasn't a difficult thing at all. There were very few starlets who didn't love money. As long as they gave more money, they didn't have to worry about not being able to do it. Mayor Mark Vader, Miss Shuya is a foreign singer, and her family is prominent, so I can't ask for anything from her. LoveLore explained. A foreign singer. Her family is prominent in the local area. There is no power here. Can't you just hint? In Mark Vader's view, with his own power, he didn't have to worry about Shuya not complying. Mayor Mark Vader, Miss Shuya is a VIP invited by Miss Alice, and Miss Alice is also her fan. If there is a problem. LoveLore hinted. Ah. Mark Vader was shocked. He didn't expect Shuya to know Miss Alice. Then, this matter was difficult. Even if he was given another courage, he wouldn't dare to be disrespectful to Shuya anymore. The power that Miss Alice represented was not something that he could possibly resist. Is that so? Then, you see. Can you let them meet? It will be fine if they meet once. Otherwise, Malajben. If that kid messes with me. Mark Vader said with a bitter smile. That's fine. LoveLore said in his heart. Anyway, Patriarch Old Buffon also made the same request with me. At that time, I will arrange it uniformly. With Patriarch Old Buffon, I believe Malajben won't dare to be rash. That's good. Mark Vader breathed a sigh of relief. If this request was rejected, then he really had no place to put his face as the mayor. However, even if LoveLore refused, Mark Vader couldn't say anything. After all, he was not as strong as Alice. Well, I will call you after I arrange it. LoveLore said. Thank you for your trouble. Mayor Mark Vader said politely. Malajben. Is. Mark Vader frowned and said, how many times have I told you to knock on the door before entering? Have you forgotten? I'm sorry, Father. I'm just impatient. Malajben said indifferently. He didn't mean to apologize at all. Hee. Who asked you to be my father? If you don't help me, who will help me? Malajben smiled. Father, I have been coveting Shuya for a long time. I haven't tasted an Asian celebrity chick yet. Don't talk nonsense. Mark Vader glared at his son. I heard that Miss Shuya's family background is not ordinary. Your money is probably nothing in her eyes. Don't have any unrealistic illusions. Although I don't have much money, I have an identity. Don't I have you? Father Mayor. Malajben said disapprovingly, if Shuya wants to develop a career in Europe, she also needs connections, right? Who can have more connections than you? In short, don't mess around. Mark Vader warned, don't use force. Otherwise, if something happens, I can't help it. Look at what you said. When did I cause you trouble? Malajben said indifferently, didn't I settle it with money every time? Even if my money is not enough, isn't there still my sister? Our family assets will be ruined by you sooner or later. Mark Vader shook his head. He originally wanted to talk about Miss Alice, but he thought that his son would not know who Alice was. After saying it, it would seem that he was incompetent. He didn't want to lose face in front of his son, so he didn't mention much about Miss Alice. In his opinion, he had already instructed his son, so his son would definitely not mess around. No, a few days ago, I got in touch with the lieutenant governor's son. He wants to partner with me to do a big business. At that time, the money will come rolling in. Malajben said proudly. Mark Vader nodded. He didn't object to his son contacting the descendants of other politicians, especially when it came to doing business together. Mark Vader agreed with both hands. I have already talked to Rockloss. He will arrange a small banquet for you to attend. Then, you can get in touch with Miss Shuya. It's not a private meeting. Malajben was slightly disappointed. This is already good. You know, although Lockcase is a counselor, his background is not worse than mine. He has the support of the May music group. If it weren't for his young age and unstable foundation, he might have been a candidate for the next mayor. Mark Vader said. Ha, I know. Malajben raised his hands and smiled. Okay, this is also fine. As long as I can meet her, I am not afraid that she will escape from my palm. Malajben did not put his father's words in his heart. He was a fearless young master. Especially after knowing the lieutenant governor's son, Sevon Geese, Malajben felt even more arrogant. In this state, he could do whatever he wanted. After returning to his room, Malajben called Sevon Geese on the phone. Malajben, it's so late. Why are you calling me? Don't you know that I am picking up girls? Sevon Geese's cynical voice came from the phone, and the heavy metal music in the background. Obviously, he was in a place like a disco bar. Sevon Geese, things are done. Rockloss will arrange for us to attend a small cocktail party. Shuya will also attend. At that time, we can get close to her, said Malajben. Good job. Sevon Geese nodded and said with satisfaction, you don't have to worry about other things. Just listen to my arrangements. That's for sure, said Malajben. Well, that's it for now. Don't affect me picking up girls. Today, this girl is so hot. Oh. Sevon Geese screamed. Malajben no longer bothered Sevon Geese. He quickly hung up the phone, hummed a song, and played the game console. What's the matter with Shuya? Wang Xiaoyan did not believe that Yang Ming would be a groupie. Based on her feelings, there must be something between Yang Ming and Shuya. Yang Ming did not expect Wang Xiaoyan to be so sensitive. He just mentioned a few words to old Buffon, and Wang Xiaoyan guessed something. Yang Ming was a little emotional. Wang Xiaoyan had really changed. She was no longer as indifferent as before. He had to admit that she was becoming more and more like a little woman. She also had the emotions and haggard feelings that a woman in love should have. Although in many cases, she would suppress her emotions and would not make trouble with Yang Ming could also feel the change in her mind. Yang Ming did not know whether this was good or bad, but one thing was certain. After Wang Xiaoyan returned to her true self, she became a lot happier. Therefore, Yang Ming would not deliberately avoid Wang Xiaoyan's occasional jealous questions. Because Yang Ming also knew that Wang Xiaoyan was just asking a lot of times, that was all. When she knew the answer she wanted, she would put these things behind her mind. She would not cry with Yang Ming because of this, and she would not add more troubles to herself because of this. This was the character that Yang Ming appreciated the most. But fortunately, Chen Mengyan was also developing in this direction, which made Yang Ming very pleased. Do you really want to know? Yang Ming asked with a smile. What do you think? Wang Xiaoyan rolled her eyes at Yang Ming and said, if you don't want to say it, then don't say it. Who cares? If you want to know, it's okay to tell you. Yang Ming sighed and slowly told the story of himself and Suya to Wang Xiaoyan. From the initial acquaintance to the forced separation, until the two met again in Macau, although the whole story seemed simple, it was full of twists and turns, joys and sorrows. For a time, Wang Xiaoyan listened attentively. When she heard what Wu Qiren did, Wang Xiaoyan couldn't help but grit her teeth. Tell me where he is. I will go back and kill him. He has already gotten the retribution he deserves. Otherwise, do you think I can still keep him? Yang Ming pinched Wang Xiaoyan's cute little face and couldn't help but laugh. That's true. Wang Xiaoyan nodded. You are better than me. I don't have to kill him. Later, she continued her concert tour. This stop was probably in Europe. The things after that haven't happened yet, so that's the end of it. Yang Ming said his experience of meeting Suya in one breath. In other words, when you went to Macau that time, you were actually looking for Shuya, and you met me by chance. Wang Xiaoyan asked with some surprise after listening. Yeah, when I saw you, an acquaintance, almost get killed, so I helped you. I didn't expect you to want to kill me. Yang Ming shrugged and said with a wry smile. You still say it. Who told you to always be perverted and take advantage of me? Wang Xiaoyan now thought of the past, and she felt a little sweet in her heart. The process of meeting Yang Ming can also be written into a novel, right? Before meeting Yang Ming, the word love did not exist in Wang Xiaoyan's life dictionary. Although there were times when there would be longing and anticipation, it was only a dream. However, after meeting Yang Ming, it completely subverted Wang Xiaoyan's previous ideas. Although Wang Xiaoyan felt that her love experience with Yang Ming was not perfect, she was very happy now. But thinking about it carefully, wasn't it a special experience when Yang Ming and I went from enemies to lovers? Isn't there a similar plot in many bubble romance dramas? Every time she thought of this, Wang Xiaoyan felt very satisfied. She felt that this month with Yang Ming was the happiest time in her life. If it could continue, it would be great. When did I take advantage of you? It's you who accidentally let me see your naked body every time. Yang Ming said with grievance. Forget it. Anyway, I am used to being looked at by you all the time. I am too lazy to pursue you. Wang Xiaoyan waved her hand and said generously, I didn't expect Suya to be your first girlfriend. I always thought it was Chen Mengyan. Hee hee. Yang Ming didn't know how to answer this question, so he could only laugh twice. Okay, I won't make fun of you. Take advantage of this opportunity. Wang Xiaoyan said, it seems that Suya is more miserable than me. She can't see you more than a few times. I thought that my underground lover was miserable enough. Are you still not satisfied? In fact, I have been with you for the longest time. In this month, I almost slept in your house every day. Yang Ming saw that Wang Xiaoyan took advantage of him and said helplessly. Isn't that because you want to develop a tacit understanding? Wang Xiaoyan smiled slyly. The two lived in a separate villa, and there were no outsiders around. It was just like home. They could do whatever they wanted, and they did not have to care about anything. So, the two resumed their previous life of a developing tacit understanding. Huang Xiaofei had been dazzled by the glory in his vision, and he did not consider the consequences of things. Now, his mind was completely filled with the scene of a few years later, when he returned to his hometown in glory and became the object of envy. Indeed, if the gold mine was profitable and mined properly, it was not difficult to become the richest man in the city. After Huang Xiaofei adjusted his emotions, he went out of the study. He was afraid that his family would see his abnormality, especially Huang Lele, whom he had to avoid. Dad, are you going out? Huang Rongjin had learned from Huang Lele that his father had asked for the money. Huang Rongjin intuitively felt that his father changed a little too fast, so fast that it was somewhat incredible. Well, I am going to the company. Huang Xiaofei said with a normal expression. Okay, then you pay attention to your safety. Although Huang Rongjin was suspicious, he didn't see anything wrong, so he nodded and instructed. Besides, he had no right to interfere with his father's behavior. Huang Xiaofei went out of the villa and did not dare to ask the driver to drive. Instead, he went to the garage to get the car and drove to Li Jiqing's Li Group. Li Jiqing made an appointment with him to meet at the company at 4:30 in the afternoon. Huang Xiaofei had not driven for a long time, and he felt a little rusty. When he was waiting for the red light, he almost did not stop and hit the car in front of him. Fortunately, the light turned green at this time, and the car in front started, so there was no accident. Otherwise, if an accident really happened, it was inevitable that Huang Rongtian and the others would notice the commotion, and his plan might be ruined. This time, Huang Xiaofei began to be careful and did not dare to have the slightest carelessness. Finally, he safely parked the car in the parking lot of the Li Group, and Huang Xiaofei breathed a sigh of relief. If I knew it was so difficult, I would have taken a taxi. Huang Xiaofei complained. Hello, Mr. Huang. The security guard of the Li Group had long been instructed by Li Ziqing to greet Huang Xiaofei here. Although he wanted to cheat, he still had to do it on the surface. Do you know me? Huang Xiaofei was a little surprised. This was his first time coming to the Li Group. He did not expect the security guard here to know him. The chairman personally arranged for me to greet you here. I have seen your photo from the chairman, said the security guard respectfully. I see. This feeling of being valued made Huang Xiaofei very happy. When he walked, he was even more proud. You lead the way. I am going to find your chairman, Mr. Li. Okay, Mr. Huang, please come with me. The security guard politely nodded to Huang Xiaofei and led Huang Xiaofei in the direction of the elevator. They went directly to the top floor of the building, where the chairman's office was located. Please come here, Mr. Huang. The security guard led Huang Xiaofei to the door of an office and then bowed. You can go in. Huang Xiaofei nodded and knocked on the door. Li Ziqing's voice came from inside. Who is it? Please come in. Huang Xiaofei pushed open the door of the room and walked in. Li Ziqing saw that it was Huang Xiaofei and quickly stood up. Mr. Huang, you are here. Welcome. Huang Xiaofei saw that Li Ziqing's attitude was not bad, and he was very satisfied. After all, this was a cooperation between the two sides. If Li Ziqing was very strong, then he would not have any right to speak in the future. How is it? Has General Kars arranged everything? Mr. Huang, I have contacted General Kars. As long as the funds are in place, the contract can be faxed immediately, said Li Ziqing. That's great. Then let's do it quickly. Huang Xiaofei was also afraid of long delays, so he said quickly. Okay, I will call General Kars. Let's confirm it. Li Ziqing saw that Huang Xiaofei had already taken the bait, and he nodded happily. In a while, can you let me talk to General Kars? Huang Xiaofei did not think that Li Ziqing could lie to him, but he wanted to get close to General Kars. No problem. Li Ziqing agreed readily. Anyway, the other side had been arranged. He was not afraid that Huang Xiaofei could see through it. The reason why Li Ziqing was so fearless was that he knew that Huang Xiaofei had not directly dealt with General Kars, so he was unlikely to find any flaws. Chapter 1125. Li Ziqing picked up the phone and pretended to dial the newly applied phone number of his son, Li Tianyu, in Africa's country X. Seeing that the area codes were all in Africa, Huang Xiaofei did not suspect anything. After a while, the call was connected. Hello, this is General Kars government. What can I do for you? The speaker was a chick that Li Tianyu brought to Africa. She was Li Tianyu's lover. Otherwise, Li Tianyu's aesthetics would not be able to accept it. Li Tianyu had arranged for her to pretend to be General Kars' secretary to answer the phone, but in this way, she would know a lot of his family's secrets. It was impossible to get rid of her in the future. Li Tianyu's lover, Xiao Li, also had the same idea. When she learned that Li Tianyu asked her to help participate in the fraud, she was very happy. Xiao Li was a waitress in a karaoke hall. She had no family background, but she was beautiful. Li Tianyu liked her and brought her to Africa. She also knew that she was just Li Tianyu's lonely playmate. Sooner or later, Li Tianyu would get rid of her. However, she held the idea that she could live one day at a time because Li Tianyu gave her a lot of money every month. She had accumulated a lot of money, which was also a backup plan for herself. Now, since Li Tianyu let her participate in the family's business, it showed that Li Tianyu had developed trust in her. Moreover, Li Tianyu would not get rid of her in the future, so Xiaoli was particularly excited. Li Tianyu couldn't help it. The only woman he could trust around him was Xiaoli. If he didn't ask her to pretend to be General Carr's secretary, then who would? Anyway, Li Tianyu definitely couldn't marry Xiaoli, but it was not impossible to be a long-term lover. Hello. I am Li Jiqing of the Li family in Singapore. Please help me to connect to General Carr's. I have something to discuss with him. Li Jiqing said seriously. Okay, please wait a moment. Xiaoli said in fluent English. English was one of the official languages of Singapore, so there was no language barrier at all. After a while, Xiaoli's voice still came from the phone. Hello, Mr. Li, General Carr's is in a meeting. I have made a record of your matter. General Carr's will call you back later. That's good. Thank you for your trouble. Li Jiqing said solemnly, but in his heart, he was thinking, Tianyu is not bad. He even pretended to be a busy man by pretending to be General Carr's. It really did seem like that. It seemed that this kid's brain was not bad, and he deserved to be praised. Li Jiqing thought. On the other hand, in Africa's country X, Li Tianyu anxiously cursed, fuck, why is Daniel squatting in the toilet and not coming out? When it comes to important moments, they don't stop peeing or shitting. We are waiting for him to pretend to be General Carr's. I don't know either. Li Tianyu's underling from Singapore, Xiao Lazy, said, should I go and take a look? Alright, hurry up and go. Pull him out of the toilet. Li Tianyu said angrily, motherfucker, we still have serious business here. What if he doesn't finish? Xiao Lazy asked hesitantly. If he's not done, then let him find a plastic bag and stuff it in his pants. Li Tianyu said angrily, anyway, no matter what, you get it for him. Okay. Xiao Lazy nodded and ran in the direction of the toilet. After a while, Xiao Lazy pulled a big man and ran over here. The big man was Daniel, the person who pretended to be General Carr's. Young Master Li, I'm sorry. Daniel said embarrassedly. Okay, don't dawdle. Hurry up. Li Tianyu glared at him and said angrily. Okay. Daniel said quickly. According to Li Tianyu's instructions, he dialed the phone number of the Li family in Singapore. Li Jiqing glanced at the caller ID and picked up the phone respectfully. Hello, I am Li Jiqing. Mr. Li. I am Carsi. Daniel scratched his crotch and said in a serious tone. Hello. General Carr's. Li Jiqing said sincerely, this kid, Tianyu, is not bad. The voice of the person he found is quite similar. They are all so rough. Suddenly, I will mistakenly think that it is the real General Carr's. What's the matter? I was in a meeting just now. Daniel said in his heart, I was in a meeting with peeing and shitting in the toilet. Ha! This is the case. It is still about the gold mine contract. Li Jiqing said, our funds are ready. When can you sign the contract? The contract. Daniel glanced at Li Tianyu and said, now is fine. I will ask the secretary to fax the contract to you in a while. Okay. Li Jiqing quickly replied, right, my partner, Huang Xiaofei, wants to say a few words to you. Okay. General Carr's agreed. After Li Jiqing covered the microphone of the phone, he said to Huang Xiaofei, don't you want to talk to General Carr's? General Carr's is waiting. Okay. Huang Xiaofei nodded and took the phone. He said respectfully, General Carr's, hello. I am Huang Xiaofei. And, hello. Daniel said majestically. The gold mine matter, please. We are also sincere in cooperation, said Huang Xiaofei. And, if you are not sincere, I can't contract the gold mine to you, Daniel said according to Li Ziqing's hint. That is. Huang Xiaofei sighed. His previous money was in vain. This time, he hoped that General Kars would not step down. Well, that's it. We will transfer the money to you in a while. Okay. Then I will ask the secretary to fax the contract to you in a while, said Daniel. Huang Xiaofei handed the phone to Li Ziqing. After Li Ziqing said a few words, he hung up the phone. At this moment, Huang Xiaofei was also relieved. After all, he had a direct conversation with General Kars. It didn't take long for the office to receive a fax signal from Country X in Africa. The contract was sent over. Li Ziqing received the contract and asked the secretary to call the legal counsel over. In fact, this contract was drafted with the help of this legal counsel. After the legal counsel pretended to read the contract, he handed the contract to Li Ziqing and nodded. There is no problem. It is okay. Okay, then let's look at it again. Li Ziqing took the contract and placed it between himself and Huang Xiaofei. Huang Xiaofei also understood that this kind of contract was only effective for the interim government. Once the interim government changed its president and General Kars stepped down, the contract would become a piece of scrap paper. Glancing at it roughly, it was similar to the contract he had signed before. He nodded and said, "You see that there is no problem. Let's sign it." Okay, if there is no problem, let's sign the contract, Li Ziqing said as he took out a signature pen. He first signed his name on the contract and then handed it to Huang Xiaofei. Huang Xiaofei took the signature pen, took a deep breath, and then signed his name on the contract. After all, the gold mine belonged to him again. How could he not be happy? After Huang Xiaofei signed, he handed the contract back to Li Ziqing. Li Ziqing took it. After checking that there was no mistake, he put the contract into the fax machine again and dialed General Kars' phone number. Soon, the phone was connected. The voice of General Kars' secretary, Shaoli, came from the other side. Hello, this is General Kars' office. Hello, I am Li Ziqing from the Li family in Singapore. We have signed a contract with General Kars. It is faxed to the fax number on your side. Please check it and help to pass it to General Kars, said Li Ziqing. No problem. The contract has been received. I will pass it to General Kars, said Shaoli, hanging up the phone. Li Ziqing smiled at Huang Xiaofei and said, okay. It's done. Let's wait for General Kars' call, and then we can remit the money. Huang Xiaofei nodded and sat anxiously on the sofa, quietly waiting for the news. The matter of the gold mine had already annoyed him to the core. Now that the dust had finally settled, it could be considered a major event. This time, General Kars' call came very quickly. Li Ziqing picked up the phone and said, "Hello, General Kars. Have you received the contract?" "Yes, I have received it." General Kars said, "If there is no problem, I will give you my account. You can remit the contract rent to my account." "Okay, no problem. Go ahead," said Li Ziqing. "My account is..." "The account name is my name, Kars XXXX, said General Kars. "I have written it down. Let's check." "The account is..." "The account name is Kars XXXX, right?" said Li Ziqing. "Yes, after you remit the money, just call my secretary," said General Kars. Okay, said Li Ziqing quickly. Hanging up the phone, Li Ziqing picked up the account number he had written down and said to Huang Xiaofei, "This is the account number. You can transfer the money first." "Is the account number correct?" Huang Xiaofei asked cautiously, "Don't make a mistake, or it will be over." "Yes. I confirmed it with General Kars. It is this account number." Li Ziqing nodded affirmatively. "That's good." Huang Xiaofei took the account number and said, "Then I will transfer the money. Do you have a computer with internet access here? I will log into the online bank and transfer the money to him." "Yes, my computer can do it." Li Ziqing pointed to the computer on his desk. "You can use this computer." Li Ziqing logged into his online bank. According to the account Li Ziqing had written down, he transferred 40 billion patakas to the account of General Kars and clicked the confirm button. After a while, the system prompted, "Transfer successful." At this point, all the money in the account was transferred to the account of General Kars. "Okay. The transfer is done. You can call General Kars' secretary and inform them that the money has been transferred," said Huang Xiaofei. He didn't know why, but he always felt a little nervous. "Okay." Li Ziqing resisted the excitement in his heart. This was 40 billion patakas. It was so easy to get it in his hands. It was so exciting. "I will call General Kars' secretary." Although Li Ziqing was too lazy to continue acting, he had to do it properly. So, he picked up the phone and called Xiao Li, the secretary of General Kars. He told her that the money had been transferred to the account and asked her to check it. "It's done. You can go back and wait for the good news." Li Ziqing smiled at Huang Xiaofei. "I wish us a happy cooperation in the future." "Okay. Then I will go back and wait for the news." "When can I go to Africa's country X to receive the gold mine?" asked Huang Xiaofei. "Wait for the reply from General Kars. It may be in the next few days," said Li Ziqing perfunctorily. "That's fine. I will go first. If there is news, contact me at any time." Huang Xiaofei stood up and was ready to leave. The more Huang Rongjin thought about it, the more he felt something was wrong, so he called his elder brother, Huang Rongtian. Huang Rongtian was in the company, preparing to get off work. At this time, he received a call from his younger brother. "Hello, Rongjin, what's the matter?" "Brother, did father go to the company?" asked Huang Rongjin. "The company?" "No, why did he go to the company? Isn't he at home?" asked Huang Rongtian. "Previously, about half an hour ago, father said that he was going to the company. Didn't he go?" After Huang Rongjin listened to Huang Rongtian's words, he faintly felt that something seemed to be wrong. "No, I am almost off work. The people in the company are almost gone. What is he doing at this time?" said Huang Rongtian. "Moreover, if father comes, my secretary will definitely inform me." What a joke. The chairman is coming to the company. Such a big thing, how can the secretary not tell Huang Rongtian? It's bad. Huang Rongjin's thoughts were verified, and he suddenly became nervous. "Brother." Just now, father looked for little sister and said that he had figured it out. He no longer wanted to deal with the gold mine in Africa's country X. He was ready to do business in the country, so he took all the money in little sister's hands. After that, I saw that he was going out. I asked him where he was going, and he said he was going to the company. What? Lele gave all the money to father. Huang Rongtian was also shocked after listening. He was shocked. No way. Why did she give the money to him? AI. Don't you know what kind of person father is? He is very stubborn. Did he take the money to the Li family's people? Ah. What should I do? Huang Rongjin was also shocked after listening and asked quickly. I will go back now. You call father and ask where he is, said Huang Rongtian quickly. Okay, brother, then you come back quickly. I will call father. After listening to his brother's analysis, Huang Rongjin also knew that something had happened. After Huang Rongjin hung up the phone, he did not dare to delay. He immediately called his father's cell phone. Huang Xiaofei had just walked out of the Li's group at this time. He was about to get in the car when he heard his cell phone ring, so he picked it up. Hello. Rongjin. What's the matter? Said Huang Xiaofei. Father, where are you? Asked Huang Rongjin quickly. I am on the way home. I will be home soon. The matter had been done, so Huang Xiaofei didn't care. Then where did you go? Brother said that you didn't go to the company. Asked Huang Rongjin. Oh, I didn't go. I went to do something else. Huang Xiaofei said, why? What's the matter? That is. Huang Rongjin wanted to talk about the money, but after all, he was not in charge of the family business. The family business was in charge of the elder brother, so some things should be said by his elder brother. Okay, if there is nothing, I will hang up first. Huang Xiaofei got in the car and said, let's talk about it when we go home. I still have something important to announce to you. After that, he hung up the phone. When Huang Rongjin heard his father say that there was something important to announce, his heart suddenly went thump. This is not a good sign. What is the big thing? Huang Rongjin frowned and looked at the phone in his hand. He was a little uneasy. His intuition told him that what his father was going to say was definitely not a good thing. Not long after, the elder brother, Huang Rongtian, came home first. When he saw Huang Rongjin, he quickly asked, Rongjin, how is it? Where did father go? Have you contacted him? I have contacted him. Huang Rongjin frowned and said, father said that he went to do something, and he has something important to announce to us when he comes home. I am afraid that he is going to deal with the gold mine again. Ah. It's over. We are still one step too late. It's over now. Father must have gone to the Li family group. Huang Rongtian sighed and sat on the sofa helplessly. Rongjin, why didn't you tell me earlier? I didn't expect father to go to the Li family group. Besides, how can I stop father from doing things? Huang Rongjin shrugged and said with a bitter smile. Huang Rongtian nodded. Indeed, what father wants to do, how can I stop him as his son? Even if Huang Rongjin told me earlier, it would take some time for me to come back. At that time, my father would have already left. Moreover, whether I can convince my father or not is another matter. At this point, I can only resign myself to fate. Everything can only wait for my father to come back and make a decision. After Huang Xiaofei left, Li Ziqing suddenly laughed. He laughed very happily and very treacherously. He finally succeeded. He thought that it would take a little trouble, but he did not expect that Huang Xiaofei was so easy to fool. He only made a few phone calls and drafted a fake contract, and he was successfully hooked. In fact, it was not that Huang Xiaofei's vigilance was poor. If he was really poor in vigilance, it was impossible to build such a big company. It was just that Huang Xiaofei's mind was recently thinking about the Country X gold mine. He had been dazzled by this matter and lost his mind. At this time, people often would not give up until they achieved their goal. Therefore, as long as the ultimate goal could be achieved, Huang Xiaofei had almost ignored the process, so it was so easy to be fooled by Li Ziqing. Chapter 11:26. If it were other times, Huang Xiaofei would still be vigilant. How could he easily transfer so much money directly to a foreign account? Li Tianyu proudly listened to the cold female voice on the phone announcing the amount in his bank account, but at this moment, the voice became so sweet. Li Tianyu really wanted to listen to it a few more times. Did I succeed? Li Tianyu was very proud. He hugged his secretary, Shaoli, and kissed her on the cheek. Shaoli, you've done a great service this time. Don't worry. In the future, even if I, Li Tianyu, have to eat porridge and pickles, I won't leave you behind. Shaoli wanted Li Tianyu to say this sentence. After listening to Li Tianyu's promise, she was very happy. She finally integrated into the Li family and became a member of the family. She also made a great contribution to the family. Young Master Li, my performance is not bad. Dinyo also scratched his head proudly and scratched his crotch. He said, my general course is not bad, right? And your performance is not bad. Don't worry. I will definitely give you a bonus. Li Tianyu nodded and said. That's great. Thank you, young Master Li. Puff. Dinyo farted and said with some embarrassment, young Master Li, I just pooped halfway. My stomach still hurts. Alright, hurry up and go. Li Tianyu laughed and scolded, you really can't do anything big. Hee hee. Young Master Li can do big things. We are young Master Li's followers. Dinyo smiled and ran to the toilet. This kid. Li Tianyu shook his head. At this moment, the phone rang. After Li Tianyu made a silent gesture to Shaoli, he picked up the phone. Hello, how are you? This time, it was his private phone that rang, so there was no need to ask Shaoli to pick up the secretary who pretended to be General Kars. Tianyu, it's me. Li Ziqing's voice came from the phone. Father, hello. Li Tianyu said quickly, how was my performance? I didn't reveal any flaws, right? No, everything is fine. Especially before, your secretary said that General Kars is in a meeting and will call me back later. She said it very arrogantly. There was a sense of superiority like General Kars. Not bad, praise him. Li Ziqing said. Bang! Li Tianyu was stunned. He thought to himself, no way. Dinyo said that because he was in the toilet. I didn't expect him to be so cool. But of course, he wouldn't say it out loud. He chuckled and said, yes, we've simulated it many times, striving for the best results. Well, but Tianyu, you've made a great contribution this time. Isn't this 40 billion patakas? Take out 100 million as your reward. Give it to your subordinates as a token of appreciation. Also, that little lover of yours is not bad. You should give her some appreciation. Li Ziqing was in a particularly good mood. In the past, he didn't look up to Shaoli, but today was different. Shaoli could be considered as a meritorious servant. Thank you, father. Li Tianyu was overjoyed when he heard that he could be given 100 million as a reward. He quickly thanked him. And, you don't have to thank me. Li Ziqing waved his hand and said, you just have to work harder. Don't worry, father. If there is such a thing in the future, tell me at any time. I will cooperate. Li Tianyu felt that this 100 million was so easy to earn. Shaoli was closer to Li Tianyu, so she heard Li Ziqing's words. When she heard Li Ziqing praise her, Shaoli was very happy. After Huang Xiaofei returned home, he found that his two sons were sitting on the sofa in the living room. He wondered, Rongtian, Rongjin, what are you two doing? Father, where did you go? Where is the money that little sister gave you? Why didn't it go to the company's account? Huang Rongtian had just checked the company's account, and there was no deposit at all. Now that things have come to this, I won't hide it from you. Huang Xiaofei smiled and said, yes, I just went to the Li family group. I went to study the gold mine contracting. And Leilei's money, I also used it on the gold mine contracting. Father, why are you so confused? After Huang Rongtian heard his father's words, he was shocked and angry. I have figured it out. Haven't you figured it out yet? The investment in Country X's gold mine is simply an unrealistic idea. Our Huang family doesn't have so much strength to play with Country X's affairs. If they want to play us to death, isn't it a matter of minutes? Yes, father. Huang Rongjin also said, isn't it good for us to do business honestly in China? Don't you still do well? It's useless for you to say this. I have already remitted the money to General Carr's account. The gold mine contracting has become a foregone conclusion. It can't be changed. Li Ziqing waved and said, you don't have to say any more. What? The money has already been remitted. How is it so fast? Huang Rongtian looked at his father incredulously after listening. What else is there to be unhappy about? It's just signing a contract and remitting the money. Isn't it done? Said Li Ziqing. Father, you mean, you didn't go to Country X in Africa, and you didn't see General Carr's. You just remitted the money. Huang Rongtian suddenly frowned. Things had come to this point, and he couldn't change it. Now he was thinking about how to do things more securely. There is no need to go. The Li family has already contacted them. They will send the contract directly, and then fax it after signing it. Huang Xiaofei said, I will remit the money to General Carr's account. Isn't it done? Can that be accurate? Huang Rongtian frowned. The Li family won't lie to you, right? Lie to me? Huang Xiaofei was stunned. He really hadn't considered this issue before. It shouldn't be. Why would he lie to me? Moreover, he called General Carr's in front of me. I also talked to General Carr's personally. Can it be fake? Are you sure that it is General Carr's? Huang Rongtian asked with some doubt. Huang Xiaofei was a little worried when Huang Rongtian said this. It should be, right? His secretary also helped to transfer the call. Where is the account given to you? Huang Rongtian couldn't help but be careful. After all, that was 40 billion. Now that what was done could not be undone, he had to be more secure. It's in Africa, and the account name is General Carr's. Huang Xiaofei said, there should be no problem. I hope there is no problem. Huang Rongtian shook his head. Dad, how can you be so impulsive? It's not your turn to teach me. Do I still need to tell you what to do? Huang Xiaofei said impatiently, now that the contract has been contracted, what we have to study is how to manage the gold mine in Country X in Africa, instead of complaining. Huang Rongtian looked helplessly at Huang Rongjin next to him. He sighed and nodded. Well, father, then you say it. Huang Xiaofei had been planning the new development ideas of Country X's gold mine in the past few days, so he had already formed a very complete plan in his mind. Now that he said it, it was refreshing for Huang Rongtian and Huang Rongjin. Huang Xiaofei's plan was to increase the monthly gold output under the premise of sacrificing the total output. As a result, although the total mining time of the gold mine was reduced, the monthly income was greatly increased. It suddenly became twice the previous estimate. If this continued, the gold mine would recover its cost in less than 2 years, and it would be pure profit in the future. However, this plan was really effective in a war-torn country like Country X. Because this time, no one could guarantee how long General Carr would be in power, so the gold mine was still facing the danger of being taken back. Therefore, in the limited time, they had to increase the mining effort as much as possible to create more profits. After listening to his father's idea and analysis, Huang Rongtian slowly accepted his father's approach. If it was really as expected, then this business could still be done. Father, things have come to this point. I think we should still greet Lele first. After all, this money is hers. Huang Rongjin listened to his father's idea. Although he didn't know much about business, it sounded like it could make money, so he could only accept his father's approach. Well, you should tell Lei. You go and call Lei. Huang Xiaofei was not afraid that Huang Lei would regret. The money had already been remitted. Even if Huang Lei regretted, it would not help. After Huang Lei knew about this, she did not make a fuss with Huang Xiaofei. She just said, I know, and went back to her room. At this moment, Huang Lei was completely disappointed with her father. She did not expect that her father would actually fall to the point of cheating her money. Huang Lei did not have the mood to listen to her father's ideas. She would just let him be. If this could be exchanged for her father's guilt to her, and he would not interfere in her affairs from now on, then Huang Lei would be satisfied. However, for 2 days, Huang Xiaofei did not receive a call from Li Ziqing. He was a little anxious and quickly dialed Li Ziqing's phone. At this moment, Li Ziqing had already transferred the money in his account to a safe account through his own channels. He was not afraid of what Huang Xiaofei could do. Hello. Mr. Huang, what's the matter? Li Ziqing said. Mr. Li, how is the matter of the gold mine going? When can we go to Africa's country X to take over the gold mine? Huang Xiaofei asked anxiously. This, General Kars hasn't replied to me yet. I don't know. I think it may be soon. Li Ziqing said with a smile. He thought, mine. Mine my ass. That's good. Then you urge General Kars. If we leave earlier, won't we make money earlier, said Huang Xiaofei. And, that's true. Okay, I will contact General Kars again, said Li Ziqing. If there is news, inform me immediately. Huang Xiaofei said. No problem. Li Ziqing said so, but he said in his heart, wait. Wait for a lifetime. Even if you die, there will be no news. After waiting anxiously for a day, there was still no news from Li Ziqing. Huang Xiaofei's heart was also a little panicked. He quickly found Huang Rongtian and Huang Rong to analyze. Rongtian, Rongjin, you help me. Why is there still no news from General Kars? It has been a few days since the contract was signed. Logically, there should be no problem, right? Huang Xiaofei looked at his 2 sons anxiously and said. Father, what did the Li family say? Asked Huang Rongtian. I just called the Li family. Li Ziqing said that General Kars has not contacted him yet. Huang Xiaofei said, I asked him to take the initiative to contact General Kars. He said that he would give me news after contacting him. Then we can only wait for the news now. Huang Rongtian sighed. I am afraid that the Li family can't guarantee it. You reminded me before. I didn't take it seriously. Now that I think about it, it is really a bit difficult. No, I have to urge the Li family again. Having said this, Huang Xiaofei picked up the phone again and dialed Li Ziqing's phone number. Hello, Mr. Huang, you see, I just wanted to call you. Li Ziqing's voice came from the phone. Oh. Why? Do you want to call me, too? Asked Huang Xiaofei quickly. Yeah, this is the case. I called General Kars, and he said that there is a problem with the gold mine. Said Li Ziqing. How is the gold mine? When can we go? Asked Huang Xiaofei anxiously. There is a problem with the gold mine. General Kars is trying to solve it. Said Li Ziqing. Problem? What's the problem? Huang Xiaofei's heart tightened and asked quickly. The gold mine is occupied by an unknown armed force. General Kars is trying to drive this armed force away. Said Li Ziqing. Ah. Was it occupied? How can that be? We are the legal contractors. Huang Xiaofei was shocked and said quickly. We are the legal operating contractors. General Kars did not say that we are not. However, the gold mine is contracted to us. It is reasonable to say that this is already a private dispute. We should be the ones to drive away these armed forces. General Kars can help us solve it. It is already very good. He only did this because of my face. Then when can we go to the gold mine? Asked Huang Xiaofei. I don't know about this. It depends on the news from General Kars, said Li Ziqing. What is going on? How can such a thing happen? Said Huang Xiaofei helplessly. I can't help it. Who knows? How can such a thing happen? Said Li Ziqing very helplessly. Well, if you have news, tell me as soon as possible. Huang Xiaofei had to hang up the phone. Father, how is it? What did the Li family say? Huang Rongtian also heard that something was wrong. After Huang Xiaofei hung up the phone, he quickly asked. Li Ziqing said that the gold mine was occupied by a group of armed forces. General Kars is trying to drive them away. Huang Xiaofei sighed and said. That won't do. This gold mine has been occupied. I don't know how long it will take to get it back. The contract fee has already been paid. Why don't we get the money back first? Huang Rongtian was also a little worried. Wouldn't this situation go down the drain again? Yes. No, I have to call Li Ziqing again and talk to him about this. Huang Xiaofei nodded, picked up the phone again, and dialed Li Ziqing's phone number. Hello. I say, Mr. Huang, why are you calling again? Li Ziqing also faintly felt that Huang Xiaofei seemed to have noticed something, but he was not sure, so he still spoke politely. This is the case, Mr. Li. You see, isn't Country X in Africa at war? Can you see if you can talk to General Kars and return our money first? Huang Xiaofei asked tentatively, when things are done over there, can we remit the money? How is this possible? Do you think it is a child's game? You remit and return the money as you wish. General Kars is not a person who has nothing to do. How can he have the time to do these things for us? Li Ziqing flatly denied. Moreover, he has already contracted the gold mine to us at a very cheap price. If we do it over and over again, isn't it annoying? If he doesn't contract to us, what should we do? Besides, if we are so capricious, General Kars will be angry. He will not directly contract the gold mine to us, and the money will not be refunded. Won't we suffer in silence? This. Huang Xiaofei listened to Li Ziqing's words and began to worry. Indeed, this kind of war-torn country really could not be measured with common sense. So, let's wait for the result quietly. Li Ziqing saw that Huang Xiaofei was speechless, and he was very proud. If that's the case, then okay. Indeed, Huang Xiaofei didn't know what to say. He had to agree with Li Ziqing's statement. And, then that's it. I still have something to do. If there is new news, I will inform you as soon as possible, said Li Ziqing. Well, then that is the only way. Huang Xiaofei sighed. Now the initiative was completely in the hands of others. He had no way at all. Okay, let's not talk about it. I am in a meeting. As Li Ziqing spoke, he hung up the phone. Hello. Hello. Huang Xiaofei still wanted to say something, but he saw that Li Ziqing had hung up the phone. He had to take the phone away from his ear helplessly. Huang Xiaofei suddenly found that the phone's call time was still running. Did Li Ziqing not hang up the phone? Huang Xiaofei quickly put the phone on his ear again and said, Hello. Mr. Li. Hey, Huang Xiaofei, this stupid thing. It seems that he hasn't realized that he was fooled. A man's voice came from the phone. It sounded like Li Ziqing's son, Li Tianjia. Yeah, I used the reason that General Kars would not refund the money to brush him off, but he will definitely call again. This time, the person who spoke was Li Ziqing. But what if he calls again? Asked Li Tianjia. Chapter 11:27. Call again. Then let's call. If he urges me again, I will tell him that I have already urged General Kars. General Kars said to wait. Li Ziqing said indifferently. Then we can't keep pushing it like this. After a long time, Huang Xiaofei, the old man, will definitely doubt it, said Li Tianjia. That's true. Li Ziqing sneered. However, this is better. If he urges more, I will say that General Kars is impatient and broke the contract. The money will not be refunded, and the gold mine will not be given. In this way, isn't it over? This method is really good. Father, only you can think of it. Li Tianjia said after listening, in this way, we have no responsibility at all. The Huang family can only suffer again. Reasoning with General Kars will exhaust them to death. That's right, so our family has a net of 40 billion patakas. This business is so cost-effective. Only Huang Xiaofei can believe it. He has suffered a loss once. I didn't expect him to still be such a fool. Said Li Ziqing. If he is not a fool, how can he give us so much money for nothing? Li Tianjia laughed. Huang Xiaofei held the phone, and his whole body was trembling. He was going to explode. Li Ziqing actually made a scam to deceive him. What General Kars? What contract? All these seem to be forged by Li Ziqing. Huang Rongtian and Huang Rongjin also heard the conversation on the phone because Huang Xiaofei directly turned on the hands-free mode of the phone. The faces of the family became extremely ugly. Huang Xiaofei yelled at the phone, Li Ziqing, you bastard, you dare to lie to me. However, there was no response from the other party. Obviously, Li Ziqing did not find out that his phone was not hung up, and Huang Xiaofei's voice could not reach his ears. Huang Xiaofei resisted his anger, hung up the phone, and then dialed Li Ziqing's phone again. Li Ziqing was talking to Li Tianjia when he saw the phone ring again. Seeing that it was Huang Xiaofei, he picked up the phone. Hello, Mr. Huang, what's the matter? Didn't I say that I am in a meeting? Meeting? Huang Xiaofei sneered. You are having a meeting to study how stupid I am, right? If I urge you again, you will say that General Kars broke the contract and is impatient, right? You. What do you mean? Li Ziqing was shocked and asked. What do you mean? Did you forget what you said just now? Huang Xiaofei snorted. Don't deny it. You didn't hang up the phone just now. I heard what you said. You heard everything. Li Ziqing was also shocked and asked. What do you think? Li Ziqing, what do you mean? You tell me clearly today. Otherwise, this is not over. Huang Xiaofei roared. Not done yet. How could it not be over? I'd like to hear it. When Li Ziqing saw that Huang Xiaofei knew about it, he simply tore his face. What do you want me to say? If you return the money to me, then this matter is settled. I won't hold you accountable for anything. If you don't return the money to me. Huang Xiaofei's words were interrupted by Li Ziqing before he finished. What if I don't return it? Li Ziqing sneered. Who did you give the money to? Did you give it to me? Your money was given to General Kars. Why don't you ask him for it? Why do you ask me for it? Are you sick? What General Kars? Isn't it your disguise? Huang Xiaofei questioned. Disguise? You gave the money to General Carr's account. What disguise? If you have the ability, go and sue General Carr's. Don't say these useless things. Li Ziqing said calmly, evidence. Everything must be based on evidence. What evidence do you have to prove that I lied to you? You didn't give me the money. I am still a victim. I am your partner, and I also lost half of the gold mine. You. Huang Xiaofei was so angry that his whole body was trembling. His heart was suddenly in pain. Huang Xiaofei covered his heart and couldn't speak. Indeed, he had no evidence at all. He blamed himself for being blinded by the gold mine. He didn't even leave something like a receipt or cooperation certificate. He just muddle-headedly remitted the money to the account of a person named Cars XXXX. Psycho, don't call me if there is nothing. Li Ziqing said as he hung up the phone and turned off the phone directly. Huang Xiaofei only felt a rush of blood to his head, followed by a sharp beating of his heart, and then he didn't know anything, father. Huang Rongtian and Huang Rongjin saw that Huang Xiaofei had fainted and were shocked. They quickly went to check, but Huang Xiaofei was leaning on the sofa motionlessly. Huang Rongtian quickly took out the phone and dialed the emergency center. Then he said to Huang Rongjin, I have contacted the hospital. You go to the underground garage to get the car. We will send father to the hospital immediately. Okay. Huang Rongjin nodded and didn't dare to delay. He quickly picked up the car key and ran out of the house. Although Huang Rongtian and Huang Rongjin were extremely indignant about Li Ziqing's behavior, at this time, it was not the time to pursue their responsibilities. The most important thing was to send their father to the hospital first. They sent their father to the hospital, and Huang Xiaofei was pushed into the operating room. Huang Rongtian and Huang Rongjin waited anxiously outside the emergency room. Rongjin, this time, our Huang family can be said to be in a dead end. If father has another accident, it is hard to say if our Huang family can still occupy a place in Singapore's business circle. Huang Rongtian sighed and said, father is really muddle-headed. Brother, now is not the time to complain. We should think about how to recover the loss. We can't let the Li family take advantage of it, right? Said Huang Rongjin. What can we do if we don't take advantage of it? Huang Rongtian also said very helplessly. Li Ziqing also said that we have no evidence. Father's money was remitted to Cars. It has nothing to do with him. He can only admit that he was cheated. I reckon that this matter is most likely hopeless. AI. Huang Rongjin listened to his brother's words and had to accept this reality helplessly. It couldn't be helped. Who asked his father to be so careless? His mind was muddled, and he gave the money to others. Right now, the most important thing is to get my father back to health. Otherwise, our Huang family is finished. Huang Rongtian anxiously looked at the emergency room, anxiously waiting. Finally, the lights in the emergency room went out, and several doctors walked out from inside. Huang Rongtian and Huang Rongjin quickly greeted them. Doctor, how is my father's situation? The head attending doctor glanced at Huang Rongtian and Huang Rongjin and said, Are you the patient's children? The patient's situation is not very good. It has temporarily stabilized, but because of the anxiety, it caused a sudden cerebral hemorrhage. We need to perform a craniotomy immediately. Please sign on the operation sheet. Ah! Huang Rongtian and Huang Rongjin were shocked. Of course, they knew how serious a cerebral hemorrhage was. It would be fine if he recovered. Otherwise, he would be paralyzed or in a vegetative state. Well, don't waste time. Hurry up and make a decision. Who can make the decision? The doctor asked anxiously. The patient can't be delayed. Okay, I will sign it now. Huang Rongtian nodded quickly. He took the operation sheet and the signature pen handed over by the nurse on the side and signed his name on it. Then, please perform the surgery as soon as possible. Okay. After the doctor glanced at the operation sheet, he gathered people to perform the surgery for Huang Xiaofei. Huang Rongtian and Huang Rongjin were waiting outside the operating room with a sigh. Brother, should we tell Lei about this? Huang Rongjin thought that when he left in a hurry, he had not told Huang Lei yet. Huang Lei did not know about Huang Xiaofei's hospitalization. Let's not talk about it first, lest Lei is worried. Let's wait until father is out of danger. Huang Rongtian thought about it and said. All right. Huang Rongjin nodded. Li Ziqing, I will never let you go. What if you don't let him go? Do you want to kill him? Huang Rongtian said helplessly, at present, we really have no way to deal with Li Ziqing. We can't win the lawsuit, and we don't even have evidence. Huang Rongjin was just saying it. As his brother said, he really had no way. Little Ya, Mr. LoveLore, the general manager of the Grand Theater, just came. Shuya's assistant, Su Li, returned to the hotel room and said to Shuya. What's the matter? Asked Shuya. He said that he wants to hold a small cocktail party tomorrow and invited you to attend. It's a welcome dinner for you. Said Su Li, tell him to thank him for his kindness. I am a little tired. I have to take a good rest these 2 days so that I can have the energy to hold a concert, said Shuya. Little Ya, this is not the main thing, but LoveLore hinted that there are several young people with strong backgrounds who are your fans. They want to meet you privately. Said Su Li. Shuya immediately frowned after hearing it. Why is the entertainment industry here like this? Su Li suddenly smiled and said, Little Ya, the entertainment industry is like this. In Hong Kong, with Mr. Shu's power, no one dares to do anything to you. But here, if you want to get the support of these people, you have to deal with these powerful young masters. Shuya nodded slightly. Before it developed internationally, she had heard of similar unspoken rules in Hong Kong, but because of her family's strong background, few people would have ideas about her. But it was different abroad. If she wanted to develop, she had to go to social events. Shuya suddenly had a headache. Although she was reluctant, the other party's request was just to attend a cocktail party. Shuya could still reluctantly accept it. But if there were other requests, Shuya would not do anything out of line even if she did not want the European market. Then you can reply to Mr. LoveLore. I will attend the cocktail party, but only the cocktail party. If there are other social events, I can't accompany you. Shuya hesitated and agreed. Okay, I will reply to Mr. LoveLore. Su Li nodded, stood up, and went back to the room to call LoveLore. Back in the room, Su Li thought about her own words and dialed LoveLore's phone. In many cases, this kind of communication could only be done by the agent. Most celebrities were proud and would not easily bow their heads, especially international superstars like Shuya. However, many concert organizers and company people also had very deep backgrounds. The coordination between the two could only rely on the agent. Therefore, Su Li's conversation with LoveLore naturally could not be as tough as Shuya's. She had to find a suitable reason to persuade LoveLore. Mr. LoveLore. I am Miss Shuya's agent, Su Li, said Su Li. Hello, Miss Su Li. LoveLore said enthusiastically, what is Miss Shu's opinion? Miss Shu said that she just came here. She has not recovered from the jet lag, and she is a little tired. Su Li first said the objective reason, and then said, however, since it is Mr. LoveLore's invitation, Miss Shu said that she will naturally give you face. She will attend. Oh. That's great. LoveLore suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. When he heard Su Li say that before, he thought that things were hopeless. He was worried that he couldn't explain it to Patriarch Old Buffon and Mayor Mark Vader. Now that Shuya agreed, it was easy to handle. Miss Shu really gives me face. Miss Suli, then tomorrow night, I will send a car to pick you up. Okay, but there is one thing I have to say in advance. Miss Shu is just attending the banquet. She will not attend other activities. Can you understand what I mean? Suli hinted, Miss Shuya is not short of money. Her family is also very powerful, I understand this. How could LoveLore not understand Suli's meaning? He quickly nodded and said, don't worry. She is just attending the banquet. Okay, then I am relieved. If there is nothing else, let's leave it at that. Asked Suli, wait a minute, Miss Su. I still have some things to tell you. LoveLore hesitated and said, these VIPs are very powerful. One of them is the guest of Mr. Buffon, the patriarch of the Buffon family, one of the most powerful families in Europe. The other one is the young master of the city's mayor, Mark Vader, and the young master of the lieutenant governor. They are all very powerful people, so I hope you can tell Miss Shu that she can take care of the overall situation tomorrow. Ah! Suli did not expect that these young masters actually had such a background. This was what she did not expect before. She thought that she could just deal with it, but these people were not easy to deal with. Of course, Shuya did not realize how powerful the identity of Miss Alice's guest was, so she did not mention this to Suli, which made Suli a little worried. After all, these people had great power in the local area. Even if Shuya was very powerful in Hong Kong, she could not do it here. After Suli told Shuya the identity of these people, Shuya was also very worried. After all, these people were not easy to deal with. It was enough to give Shuya a headache, but she had already promised. If she backed out now, it would not be good. It couldn't be helped. Although she was unwilling, Shuya still had to bite the bullet and attend this banquet. Shuya was really tired. Sometimes, she really wanted to quit the music industry and live a carefree life with Yang Ming, but she could only think about it. If she really did this, then not only would it hurt the hearts of hundreds of millions of fans, but it might not be a good thing for Yang Ming. Yang Ming was in the stage of career development, and Shuya did not want to give him too much pressure. Now, both of them were still young. If they wanted to enjoy life, there would be opportunities in the future. Therefore, Shuya still wanted to work hard for a few years. When Yang Ming really had a successful career, she would give up everything now. Master, the general manager of the Grand Theater here will hold a small banquet tomorrow. Miss Shuya will attend. I have already informed her. Master, you should also attend. Old Buffon said flatteringly. Ah. Yang Ming did not expect old Buffon to arrange this. Yang Ming's original intention was not to meet Shuya directly, but he thought that old Buffon was also kind, so it was not good to say anything, so he nodded and said, well, then we will attend together tomorrow. That's great. Old Buffon said, then I will arrange the car, and then ask someone to order some evening gowns and send them over. You don't have to do that. I will wear this. Yang Ming looked at his casual outfit and said, it's not a formal occasion. It's just a small party. Isn't it the same what I wear? That's true. Old Buffon naturally listened to whatever Yang Ming said. Getting clothes for Yang Ming was completely out of respect, not out of consideration for LoveLore's face. Asking Yang Ming to give face to others. They were not worthy. Old Buffon naturally thought so in his heart. At 4:00 the next night, old Buffon invited Yang Ming and Wang Xiaoyan to the extended Bentley. Old Buffon personally drove, and the three of them drove to the place where the banquet was held. Old Buffon knew that Yang Ming did not like to emphasize on ostentation, so he did not bring too many attendants. He did not even bring a driver. Only the three of them were very low-key. Who else is attending this banquet? asked Yang Ming. Yang Ming was not a good person. Naturally, he knew that the purpose of this banquet could not be as simple as welcoming Shuya. Since he could attend, there would definitely be other dignitaries attending. Therefore, Yang Ming needed to figure out who was at the banquet to prevent some people from harboring ill intentions towards Shuya. I haven't investigated this. Why, master? Is there anyone you don't want to see? Asked old Buffon quickly. That's not it. I want to see what other dignitaries are at this banquet, said Yang Ming. Chapter 11:28. Oh, who cares who he is? Master, you can rest assured. As long as it is someone you like, I will see who dares to make a move. Old Buffon said confidently. Yang Ming nodded. He believed in old Buffon's words. From the situation in the past few days, it could be seen how terrifying old Buffon's local influence was. Although old Buffon was respectful to him like a child, this was only in front of him. Yang Ming could naturally imagine how majestic he was in front of others. With your words, I am relieved. Yang Ming knew that old Buffon was also giving him a guarantee. In other words, in this world, no matter how big a problem Yang Ming caused, old Buffon could settle it. Moreover, old Buffon was also very willing to do something for Yang Ming. After all, he was Yang Ming's apprentice. He had to learn kung fu from Yang Ming. If he didn't often pay some tuition fees, he wouldn't feel at ease in his heart. This was a small private clubhouse. Its appearance looked very ordinary. It had a simple wall, a simple yard, and a simple door. It was just like an ordinary house without any noble luxury. But when the car drove in and came to the underground parking lot, it could be seen how luxurious it was. Inside the parking lot, there were some exquisite wall carvings and inlaid stones. Moreover, the cars parked here were also some world-famous cars. They were all brands and models that Yang Ming rarely saw. Most of them were limited edition and collector's editions. From this, it could be seen that the identity of the people who came to this clubhouse was not ordinary. Otherwise, ordinary people couldn't afford such a car. Even if they could afford it, it was impossible to get this kind of limited edition car without a certain identity and status. When Yang Ming and old Buffon got out of the car, a middle-aged man with a beer belly ran over quickly. Hello, Patriarch Buffon. I didn't expect you to come in person. And my guest's identity is not ordinary. I have to follow him at all times and listen to his instructions. Old Buffon nodded and said very calmly. In front of outsiders, Yang Ming didn't let old Buffon call him master. After all, it was a bit weird. Although old Buffon felt that it was a bit impolite, he would definitely do what Yang Ming told him. Ah! LoveLore was shocked. Just now, his attention was completely focused on old Buffon. He did not pay attention to the young man and woman next to old Buffon. After listening to old Buffon's words, LoveLore quickly reached out in front of Yang Ming. Hello, sir, beautiful lady. Welcome to the private cocktail party hosted by me. I am LoveLore, the general manager of the XY Opera House. Hello, Mr. LoveLore. Yang Ming reached out and shook LoveLore's hand gently before releasing it. LoveLore also felt Yang Ming's contempt, and from the fact that Yang Ming didn't introduce himself at all, Yang Ming didn't seem to put him in his eyes at all. However, LoveLore did not have the slightest displeasure. Instead, he felt that it was quite normal. Since old Buffon said that sentence, LoveLore could not guess the identity of Yang Ming. How many people in this world could let old Buffon be a follower? In Europe, there were very few people who could be on an equal footing with Patriarch old Buffon, let alone people with a higher status than old Buffon. Even if the identity of Patriarch Old Buffon was more honorable, such as the country's prime minister or a member of the royal family, Patriarch Old Buffon would at most be respectful to them. It was impossible to follow around like a follower. However, what Lochlearing couldn't figure out was that Yang Ming and Wang Xiaoyan were obviously Oriental people. Such people should have no intersection with Patriarch Old Buffon. Moreover, the two were so young. What kind of identity did they have to make Patriarch Old Buffon like this? However, Lochlearing also knew that if Old Buffon respected such a person, then he had to respect even more. Otherwise, they could kill him no matter what, so Lochlearing's face always had a flattering smile. Originally, Lochlearing wanted to introduce that the lieutenant governor's young master and the city's mayor's young master were in today's banquet. However, he thought that with Patriarch Old Buffon's identity, never mind the governor's and the mayor's young masters, even if the governor and the mayor were here, Patriarch Old Buffon might not be able to put them in his eyes, let alone the two mysterious friends around Patriarch Old Buffon. They even treated Patriarch Old Buffon as a follower. How could they pay attention to those small fries? Therefore, Lochlearing was afraid that he would ask for a rebuff, so he stopped talking and did not introduce the guests inside. Has Miss Shuya arrived? Yang Ming glanced at Lochlearing and asked. Not yet, but she will be here soon. Lochlearing said quickly. However, for Yang Ming, Lochlearing still had some headaches. Miss Shuya was a guest invited by the Alice, so this identity was already quite honorable. But for Old Buffon, Miss Alice was just his junior. This name could not scare him. Now, Patriarch Old Buffon was respectful to Yang Ming, so Yang Ming should be even less interested in Miss Alice, so Lochlearing had no idea what would happen in a while. It was easy to deal with the young masters of Mayor Mark Vader and the lieutenant governor. If they had any bad intentions, just a warning would be enough. But for Yang Ming, he really did not dare to say anything. Yang Ming, Wang Xiaoyan, and Old Buffon followed Lochlearing into the inner hall of the clubhouse. It was an ordinary clubhouse outside, but it was a different world inside. Yang Ming casually found a corner and sat down, while Wang Xiaoyan and Old Buffon followed and sat next to Yang Ming. The banquet had not started yet. Lochlearing still had a lot of things to do, but it was not good to leave, so he stood awkwardly. Yang Ming saw Lochlearing's awkwardness, so he said, Mr. Lochlearing, if you have anything to do, you can do it first. I prefer to be quiet. Okay, then I will go first. If you need anything, just call me. Lochlearing smiled gratefully. Yang Ming gave him a way out so that he could leave here, which made him very happy. Although it was inconvenient to bring Wang Xiaoyan to see Shuya, Shuya would know about this sooner or later. Shuya knew that Yang Ming had other girlfriends. She did not make any extreme reaction, but accepted it calmly. So Yang Ming dared to attend this occasion with Wang Xiaoyan. Malajben, is the car ready for you? Asked Savon Geese. I am ready. I am driving the Mercedes-Benz RV. Malajben said with some hesitation, but, is it okay to take Shuya away here? You know, this is Lochlearing's territory. He is a member of parliament. Even my father has to give in to him. Malajben remembered what his father said before. After all, Lochlearing's identity and status were there. If he really messed around, it was hard to guarantee that Lochlearing would not stop him. What are you afraid of? He is just a small member of parliament. Savon Geese said disdainfully, my father is the deputy governor. Does Lochlearing dare not to give face? He won't offend me because of a small foreign star, right? That's true. Thinking of Savon Geese's identity, Malajben's courage grew. The car is parked in the parking lot downstairs. I have already gotten a bed in the back according to your instructions, and, good job. Savon Geese nodded and said, how is the soundproofing performance of the car? Don't worry. It's very good. You won't be able to hear karaoke inside. Malajben said, Savon Geese, who do you think will take the lead in a while? What do you mean? Who takes the lead? Savon Geese did not quite understand Malajben's meaning. That is, who goes first? Malajben explained. Is it not the same who goes first? Why don't we play together? Savon Geese said with a lewd smile. Of course, it's different. Didn't you see the reports on the internet? It is said that Shuya is still a virgin. There has never been a scandal. Malajben whispered. Virgin. Is it true? Isn't it just hype? Savon Geese obviously didn't believe it. Now these little stars, many of them lie for hype. Isn't it just for hype? The Hollywood movie star that we played last time, didn't she declare that she was a virgin? Damn, it's almost ruined. I'm afraid that I will get sick. Savon Geese, this Shuya is really different. Her family is very powerful in Hong Kong. She doesn't need to rely on these things to gain fame. Malajben said with a knowing look, I have done a detailed investigation and bribed several entertainment media reporters. They have not gotten any news of Shuya and a man together. That is to say, Shuya is likely not to have even been in a relationship. Oh. That's interesting. Savon Geese's eyes suddenly lit up. Is your news true? If that was the case, that would be awesome. To be honest, I haven't played with a virgin star yet. Malajben snorted in his heart. He secretly thought, who isn't? But he also knew that he probably wouldn't be able to take the lead. It must be Savon Geese. Although he was not very happy, he had to make a normal expression on his face. Definitely. Let's check it in a while. It must be checked. Savon Geese nodded and said, then I won't be polite. I'll go first. Right, Malajben, you won't fight with me, right? Of course not. Malajben smiled against his heart. For this kind of good thing, of course, Savon Geese, you go first. Hey, do you think I don't know your thoughts? Savon Geese pretended to be obedient. You are afraid that something will happen, so you let me take the thunder in front, right? Not at all, not at all. Malajben scolded in his heart. So hypocritical. Is this still a big deal? Do I need you to take the thunder? But I can't say anything. My father is just a mayor, and his father is the lieutenant governor. Moreover, the most important thing is that Savon Geese has a large trading company. He has a lot of channels in his hands. Only by having a good relationship with him can he make his company bigger. Then, he can hold his head high in front of his father and sister, so Malajben had to continue to flatter Savon Geese at this moment. Do you think I don't know about your little tricks? Savon Geese snorted disdainfully, but he was also happy in his heart. This time, he made a lot of money. He felt cool just thinking about it. Right, Savon Geese, how do we do it in a while? It is not easy to get her into the car in public, said Malajben. Isn't this simple? While she is in the bathroom, let's follow her, said Savon Geese. This is a good idea. Malajben nodded and said, very good, then let's do this. Hee, it seems that I didn't come in vain today. It's very good. Savon Geese said with some pride, Malajben, you did a good job this time. Don't worry. I will give you the greatest help in the company. That's great. Malajben was overjoyed when he heard it. This was the result he wanted most. Everything else was fleeting. Only money was serious. With money, what could he not have? Why care about a woman? Thinking of this, Malajben immediately became happy. With the guarantee of Savon Geese, he was willing to let him go first. In fact, Savon Geese was not stupid. How could he not see Malajben's displeasure just now, so he was relieved and gave some care to Malajben about the trading company. "And, you can rest assured. I won't treat you badly," said Savon Geese. "Who are the people here?" Yang Ming glanced at the people in the banquet hall and asked Old Buffon. "I don't know. Maybe they are some powerful young masters." Old Buffon looked at some young people in the banquet hall and said. With Old Buffon's identity, it was naturally impossible to know these powerful young masters. Old Buffon would not put their elders in his eyes, let alone talk about these people. Therefore, Old Buffon simply did not look at these people. In his eyes, there was only Yang Ming. Only by serving Yang Ming well, this was his intention. Yang Ming nodded and said with some sarcasm, "These people are probably coming for Shuya, right?" Old Buffon listened to Yang Ming's words and couldn't help but laugh. He thought, "Aren't you also coming for Miss Shuya?" However, in Old Buffon's view, it was normal for Yang Ming to have ideas about Shuya, but it was not okay for others to do so, so he said, "Do you need to find someone to drive them out?" "That's not necessary." Yang Ming shook his head and said faintly. In fact, Yang Ming was not the kind of person who bullied others. He would not be so overbearing as to clear out all the other people in that place. Yang Ming's main purpose was that if people did not offend him, he would not offend them. Therefore, in many cases, Yang Ming would not take the initiative to provoke anyone. However, if someone really provoked Yang Ming would never be soft-hearted. Previous experience and lessons told Yang Ming that he could not be soft-hearted to the enemy. If he could eliminate the root of the problem, he must not leave it behind. Old Buffon nodded. Since Yang Ming said that he did not need to drive these people away, he would not be nosy. He sat quietly, like an old butler. If those celebrities in Europe saw this scene now, they would be so shocked that their mouths would be wide open. How could Old Buffon become someone else's follower and butler? However, in the distance, although Lochlearing was busy with the things at hand, his eyes drifted to Yang Ming's table from time to time. The shock in his heart was indescribable. Finally, after Lochlearing arranged everything that should be paid attention to, he came to Yang Ming's table again. "Hello, Patriarch Buffon, and two distinguished guests. After introducing Miss Shuya, I will introduce a few guests present. Can I introduce you? Mr. Yang, what do you think?" Old Buffon turned his head to Yang Ming, which further confirmed the thoughts in Lochlearing's heart. Yang Ming and others were not ordinary people. The uniqueness of their identities was probably unimaginable. "Forget it. I don't like these things." Yang Ming waved his hand and said to Lochlearing. "Patriarch Buffon, what about you?" Lochlearing nodded and asked Patriarch Old Buffon. "Mr. Yang has already said that he doesn't like these things. Why should I, as a follower, join in the fun?" Old Buffon glared and said angrily. He was annoyed that Lochlearing was so unobservant. Lochlearing was shocked and quickly said with a smile, Sorry, then I won't bother you." After that, he quickly left. Lochlearing turned to Savon Geese and Malajben and said, "Two young masters, hello. Uncle Lochlearing, hello." Savon Geese and Malajben smiled and greeted Lochlearing. Although their father had a higher status than Lochlearing, after all, it was the identity of their father. It was not theirs, so they still had to respect Lochlearing on the surface. No matter what, he was the host of the party and the city's councillor. "After I introduce Miss Shuya, I will introduce a few special guests of the party. You see, how about I introduce you too?" Lochlearing was not so polite to these two. After all, they were just two juniors. "Okay, that's great." Malajben agreed without thinking. "What do you say, Savon Geese?" "And I was worried that there was no way to be in the limelight." This is a good opportunity. Savon Geese nodded. If he could hook Shuya in a normal way, he was still very willing. After all, the pleasure of rape was far less than that of flattery. So Savon Geese said, "Then, I will trouble Uncle LoveLore to introduce us properly." "No problem." LoveLore nodded. This was easy for him, and it did not violate any principles, so LoveLore readily agreed. "Don't worry. I promise to let you two earn enough face in front of the beauty." Chapter 11:29. Hee, thank you, Uncle LoveLore. Malajben also said with a smile. LoveLore nodded and turned to leave. He went to register other guests, but these were not important people. LoveLore simply recorded them, and he didn't pay much attention to them. After all this, LoveLore returned to the backstage. At this time, Shuya had already arrived and was putting on makeup in the backstage. Shuya's agent, Suli, was negotiating with the staff about the process of the banquet. "Hello, Miss Shuya." LoveLore politely walked to Shuya, but because Shuya was being put on makeup by the makeup artist, she could not shake hands with him, so he bowed politely. "Hello, Mr. LoveLore." Shuya nodded to LoveLore. "It will take about 20 minutes, and my hair will be done." "Okay, then I will get ready here." "After 20 minutes, the banquet will officially begin," said LoveLore. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the private banquet hosted by me, LoveLore. First of all, let's welcome our special guest star, Miss Shuya." After LoveLore elegantly made a gesture of invitation, the lights in the venue suddenly focused behind LoveLore. Shuya wore a white evening dress and walked toward LoveLore like an angel. There was a burst of applause and cheers in the venue. However, there were also witnesses with bad intentions. They looked at Shuya lecherously. Savon Geese smacked his lips and said somewhat impatiently, "It turns out that the real person is much more beautiful than the poster. She is simply an elf who has fallen into the mortal world. She is so beautiful. Yeah, if I can have sex with her, it's fine even if I die." Malajben's breathing also became a little faster. Of course, the wretched dialogue of these two people did not affect anything. The atmosphere in the venue was still very warm and positive. Yang Ming sat quietly in the corner, admiring Shuya, his first love in childhood. Before Shuya went to Macau, she left a gift for Yang Ming. However, because Yang Ming was in a hurry to go to Macau to find Shuya, he never opened it. Later, after returning to Songjiang from Macau, Yang Ming put Shuya's gift in his home because of many things. He had not taken the time to go back, so until now, he still didn't know what Shuya gave him. Now that he saw Shuya, Yang Ming suddenly remembered the gift. It seemed that after he returned to China, he should go home. Even if it wasn't because of Shuya's gift, he had to go back to see his parents. Ever since he established his own business and bought a house outside, Yang Ming rarely returned to his parents' home. Although his parents' jobs were getting better and better, it couldn't replace the happiness of a family. Yang Ming decided to spend more time with his parents after he returned. After all, his parents were not young anymore. Thinking back to his high school days, it felt like a lifetime had passed. After more than a year, Yang Ming felt that he had really grown up. He was no longer as immature and hesitant as he was a year ago. Instead, it was replaced by shrewdness and decisiveness. Whether it was feelings or resentment, it was all the same. Yang Ming felt that if he went back to a year ago, he would definitely take down Zhao Ying on that moonlit night, instead of delaying and waiting until now with no result. It was the same for Wang Jitao. Not to mention that he framed Yang Ming and almost went to jail. Just the things he did to Zhou Jiejia were enough for Yang Ming to kill him. However, the potential enemy had always made Yang Ming feel a little uneasy. Who is the behind-the-scenes boss? This person seems to be very familiar with me, but the target doesn't seem to be me. Looking at Wang Xiaoyan next to him, Yang Ming was very confused. Several times, the boss' actions were targeted at Wang Xiaoyan. After his own analysis and summary, the boss who targeted him and the boss who targeted Wang Xiaoyan should be the same person. However, in this way, Yang Ming was even more confused. He didn't know what the ultimate goal of the boss was. However, no matter what his ultimate goal was, if Yang Ming found him one day, he would not hesitate to kill him. However, Yang Ming thought so at the time. Some time later, when Yang Ming really met the behind-the-scenes boss, there was only shock left. Shuya walked gracefully to LoveLore's side and smiled slightly to the people present. Hello, everyone. I am very happy to make friends in a foreign country. I wish everyone a happy evening. Although Shuya smiled and spoke generously, Yang Ming saw a trace of helplessness and perfunctory attitude from her eyes. Suddenly, he felt sad. Yang Ming really wanted to rush up immediately, take Shuya away from here, and go home together. However, Yang Ming's reason was better than impulse. He also knew that doing this was not good for Shuya at present. He was destroying Shuya's career. In fact, girls who had a little opinion of their own were not willing to be a vase at home for the rest of their lives. Yang Ming also understood this very well, so he never interfered with their careers. Instead, he let them go and let them fight for their own world so that they would have no regrets in life. Shuya became a big star because she liked to sing. She liked to sing and wanted to bring her most beautiful voice to everyone. At this point, Yang Ming had already felt it when he was in junior high school. Shuya was completely born for art. She was a natural singer. Next, please allow me to introduce a few special guests in the venue. After introducing Shuya, LoveLore began to introduce other people. Let's welcome our guest, the president of XY Company, the young master of the lieutenant governor, Mr. Savon Geese. When Savon Geese heard LoveLore calling his name, he walked over happily. He pretended to wave to the people present as he walked, but the main purpose of doing so was to attract Shuya's attention. Many people present cheered, especially those single ladies. Naturally, they paid special attention to single aristocrats like Savon Geese. However, Shuya always stood aside with a shallow smile. She did not pay too much attention to Savon Geese. This made Savon Geese very depressed, and he secretly swore in his heart. I must get this little girl into the car and let her pay the price of looking down on me. Next, I want to introduce the young master of the city's mayor, Mr. Malajben. Please invite Mr. Malajben to the stage. After LoveLore introduced Savon Geese, it was naturally the city's young master's turn. For the second person to introduce himself, Malajben had no complaints at all. Who made Savon Geese's father not only stronger than his father, but his own company was also bigger than his own small company. From the fact that LoveLore did not introduce his company, it could be seen how small Malajben's company was. It would only be shameful to say it out loud. However, the name of the mayor's young master was enough to attract attention. Malajben was also very proud to walk to Savon Geese's side and threw a wink at Shuya on the side. LoveLore looked at Malajben's coquettish appearance and sighed helplessly, but he couldn't say anything. The banquet officially began. Although most of the people here were fans of Shuya, only those who dared to approach Shuya were the descendants of the powerful. Savon Geese and Malajben were the two most enthusiastic people. Miss Shuya, welcome to our place. As the host here, I warmly welcome your arrival. Savon Geese said to Shuya shamelessly as if he was the lieutenant governor. Shuya was very disgusted with this kind of rich and powerful children. Their arrogant and conceited faces made Shuya very annoyed. But sometimes she had to face it. After all, this was not Hong Kong, not the territory of the family. Sometimes when she thought about it, the concert held in Songjiang was the most successful. No one dared to harass her. It was probably because of the presence of Yang Ming, the underworld boss, that such a scene would appear. "Hello, Mr. Savon Geese." Shuya politely greeted Savon Geese. "Miss Shuya, would you like to dance with me?" Savon Geese did not say more than a few words, and he showed his original lustful face. Shuya suddenly frowned. When she saw Savon Geese's appearance, she knew that he was not simply looking for her to dance. He definitely wanted to take advantage of her, so how could Shuya give him this opportunity? "I'm sorry, Mr. Savon Geese. I just arrived in Europe for 2 days. I haven't gotten over the jet lag yet. Now I'm still very sore. I can't walk around at will." Shuya smiled slightly and said apologetically. Savon Geese listened to Shuya's words and suddenly felt that he had no face. Never mind this city, even in the entire state, there were very few people who did not give him face. So after Savon Geese was rejected, his face suddenly became a little ugly. However, because this was a public place, and it was LoveLore's territory, Savon Geese did not get angry on the spot. However, Savon Geese did not get angry, but Malajben was unwilling. This prince was the local tyrant. Seeing that Shuya did not give him face, he was immediately unhappy. "Miss Shuya, have you thought about it? This is not Hong Kong. You don't even give face to Savon Geese." This was already a blatant threat. Shuya's expression suddenly changed after hearing it. Indeed, if she offended these people, her career here would become difficult. However, Shuya would never do it for the sake of her career and even sacrifice her body to please these people. Seeing that Shuya did not mean to compromise, but she was in a deadlock with Malajben, Savon Geese quickly mediated. He was also afraid that it would have a bad influence in public, so he winked at Malajben and said, "Forget it. Since Miss Shuya does not give face, then let's not embarrass her." When Malajben saw Savon Geese say this, he had to snort coldly. He closed his mouth bitterly and turned to leave with Savon Geese. "Savon Geese, why didn't you ask me to vent your anger for you? Could it be that in my dad's territory, we are still afraid of anyone?" Malajben said disdainfully. "Indeed, we are not afraid of anything, but this is a public place after all. We also have to pay attention to some of the influence. Otherwise, if we are caught, it will not be good." Savon Geese said, "As for getting Shuya, that chick, into the car, isn't it up to us? At that time, we can do whatever we want. Then, she can't sue us afterward, right?" Although Malajben was not afraid of anything, he was not a brainless person. After all, Shuya was an international celebrity, not an ordinary person. "Sue. Sue my ass." Savon Geese said disdainfully, "What is Shuya's identity? An international celebrity, a pure and innocent girl. If this matter is blown up, it will only affect her career. Does she dare to make it public?" "That's right." Malajben nodded after listening and said, "Then we will get in the car and kill her in a while. She dares not to give you face. This will let her know what the consequences are." "Hee, that's for sure." Savon Geese also nodded very lasciviously. "Is everything ready?" "What is it?" Malajben was stunned. "Knockout drug, idiot." Savon Geese glanced at Malajben and asked him to lower his voice. "Don't be so loud. Do you want others to hear it?" "Sorry, knockout drug. Of course, it is ready. It is in my pocket. When do you want to use it?" "Just give me an order," said Malajben. "And, in a while, just act according to my signal," said Savon Geese. The behavior of the two people harassing Shuya naturally fell into the eyes of Yang Ming. Yang Ming quietly watched what the two people did. If they were slightly disrespectful, Yang Ming would definitely make a move. But fortunately, the two people just said a few words and left, so Yang Ming held back and did not move. Why are these two people so annoying? Wang Xiaoyan also saw the behavior of Malajben and Sivan Geese harassing Shuya. Suddenly, she was disgusted. Yang Ming, do you want me to find a chance to kill them? After Yang Ming listened to Wang Xiaoyan's words, he suddenly sweated. An assassin is an assassin. Little girl Wang Xiaoyan's character is really tough. Fortunately, I am better than her in Kung Fu. Otherwise, I would have become a ghost under her knife. Not first. Let's wait and see. Yang Ming shook his head and smiled at Wang Xiaoyan. Don't kill people for no reason. Although it doesn't matter whether these two people are dead or not, it is not good for a girl to always talk about fighting and killing. Oh, then I won't say it in the future. Whoever is not pleasing to the eye, just kill them directly. Wang Xiaoyan deliberately pretended not to understand Yang Ming's words. Yang Ming was a little dumbfounded, but he had no way to deal with Wang Xiaoyan. Old Buffon also broke into a sweat as he listened. He thought, sure enough, she is the master's wife. She is indeed extraordinary. She can kill a person so quickly as if she is crushing an ant. However, that also proves that she has the strength. If people without strength want to kill others, they have to worry about whether they can be killed by others or not. For the consequences of Wang Xiaoyan killing Malajben and Sivan Geese, old Buffon did not consider it. In his position, there was no need to consider these things. No matter how big the matter was, as long as it happened in Europe, old Buffon's family had a way to solve it. It didn't take long for the banquet to begin. The exquisite dishes were served one by the well-dressed chefs, and the waiters began to shuttle through the entire banquet venue. Sir, madam, what would you like to drink? A waiter walked to Yang Ming and others and asked politely. Juice. Yang Ming said casually. He came here just to see Shuya, that's all. He didn't come here to drink. Okay, sir, please wait a moment. After the waiter finished speaking, he went to prepare. At this time, Malajben and Sivan Geese, each holding a wine glass, walked to Shuya again. Miss Shuya, it was my fault just now. I would like to toast you. Please forgive my previous rashness. Malajben came in front of Shuya and said very politely, changing his previous ugly face. Shuya was stunned. She did not expect Malajben's attitude to take a 180-degree turn. She looked at Malajben with some amazement. Sorry, I can't drink. Can I use juice instead? Looking at the wine glass raised by Malajben, Shuya said. Red wine is actually similar to juice. Sivan Geese said on the side. Of course, he would not let Shuya drink juice because he had put the drug in the red wine. If Shuya drank the juice, then wouldn't his efforts be in vain? As he spoke, he did not wait for Shuya to refuse. He picked up an empty glass beside Shuya and personally filled a glass of red wine for Shuya. He handed it over and said, Miss Shuya, we sincerely apologize to you. Then, okay. Shuya had no choice but to take the wine glass. After all, the red wine was a low-alcohol wine. She could still accept it. Well, Miss Shuya is really a straightforward person. Then I will drink first. Malajben drank the wine in his hand into his stomach and said, You Easterners like to drink in one breath like this. At this point, Shuya had to drink. She had to pick up the wine glass and drink the red wine in the glass. Good. Malajben immediately cheered excitedly. Of course, most of the components in this were because Shuya drank the drug. Yang Ming's eyes never left Shuya. He naturally noticed that Malajben and Sivan Geese appeared in front of Shuya again, but seeing that both of them were well behaved, he did not care much. How could he think that the two of them still had a conspiracy? After Shuya finished drinking, she saw that Savon Geese and Malaj Ben still had not left, so she asked curiously, "Is there anything else?" Malaj Ben and Savon Geese were waiting for the drug to work. How could they leave Shuya's side? If Shuya fainted in the hall and was sent to the hospital by others, they would have no chance.